where you can get Facebook to do all the hard work for you. Okay. So anyway, so the last thing is how to get your first leads quickly without building a website. And this is huge because I talk to a lot of people who are like, oh my God, I'm so hung up. I got to have a website. I got to have this. I got to have that. And actually, no, you don't. Okay. So I think we're going to talk, I think there's maybe 4 sites total that we use completely. And we'll show you the 4 sites that we use. So just get ready. We're going to look at how to analyze your ads for maximum profit and minimum waste, right? Learn how effective copy dramatically changes your cost and results. And I had sort of set this up earlier when we talked about congruence and conversation and things like that. And setting up your automatic assets. So how to start collecting leads with no website and follow up automatically. These are some simple and effective funnel strategies. And we're going to talk a little bit about compliance, discovering some of the inside secrets to stay in good graces. And more importantly, you're going to get the very proven process that we have gained through $5 million plus of Facebook ad spend. So, we've had some pretty interesting experience spending all that money, and we're going to share a lot of that stuff with you. And we typically only share these types of trainings with our high-level coaching clients. So you guys are really, really in for a big, big treat today. Now, little motivational speech, you guys can do it, right? So our students that are applying themselves are absolutely crushing it online, and you can too. And a lot of the information that you're going to get today is going to help you do that. So I know it appears a little bit difficult at first. It's not really your fault. There's a lot of bad information out there. And even some of the good information, it just gets to be too much, and it gets to be overload. So we're going to sort of simplify and dissect down to the things that are important. So, this is the first poll question I want you to do is, we're going to ask people to stay a little bit engaged here. And again, if you wouldn't mind just typing into the chat box, do you feel this way about your Facebook strategy? Like you're seeing customers and sales and likes and engagement and ads and funnels and all that, right? So how many of you feel that way? I'm just kind of curious to see that, right? So just, if you feel this way, just type a yes into the chat box, okay? And yep. I'm just going to look through this chat box real quickly. Just give me 1 second, okay? Select a poll. Oh, I'm getting shown how to do this. I'm not the most technical guy on earth, believe it or not, even though I work in a technical field. So everybody answer. All right. Yeah.
Just ask everybody to answer the questions.
All right. So go in there. Oh, here we go. Now people are starting to fill in the answers. So we've got 3%, 4%, 5%. So if you wouldn't mind participating, there we go. Awesome. Okay. We got to get to 70%. So right now we are at, where are we at? Oh, I'm having a hard time reading it. Oh, this is cool. 35%. So keep it rolling. How many of you feel this way about your Facebook strategy, right? So we got to get roll. We're at 42%. We got to get to 70% before we move to the next question. So if you haven't voted, please vote. Just jump in there. Tell us what your vote is, right? It's one mouse click. It's super easy. So it also helps us, understand where people are with the webinar. So we're getting there. We are at 54%. So just keep it rolling, right? There we go. All right. So almost there, just about there, right? So here are poll results, right? We're going to be able to post that. Here you go. All right, so this is why we want everybody to see where you're at in relation with everybody else, right? So the great majority of people are saying that they've run Facebook ads before, but with limited results, right? And then a few of you are just getting started and some of you are confused, but look at the purple. I mean, that's definitely the clear winner. And thank you to the experts in the Golden Nuggets, the 2% that are here. We're thrilled that we have had you, and obviously excited for the people out there that are crushing it too. So next thing is number 2. Where are you at with your current Facebook marketing experience? Okay. Well, that's the one we just answered. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, cool. All right. So beginner is I'm just getting started. Here's poll number 2. Just getting started, you haven't run any ads, or you're an intermediate, you've run under $1,000 in Facebook ads, or you're an advanced, you've run over 5,000. So we're just kind of curious, where are you at with that? We are, again, 70%. So go into that poll. There you go. There you go. Awesome. Okay. So go into that poll and just click on which one you are. Really, really appreciate it. All right. So we're already almost at 50. We're over 50% now. So just please, please, please vote. And in just, a few seconds, we're going to post the results of this poll, right? So a couple more, just give us, if you haven't voted, please go in and vote. Just tell us whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced. Just click on it. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. There we go. All right, so let's see the results of this poll. All right, now we are going to move this over. Here we go. Wow, okay. Beginner, just getting started, is the winner, followed by there's not much difference between the 47 and the 42%. There's a few advanced people in here, but so many people are either beginners or intermediates, which is awesome. I mean, everybody's going to get a lot of value, even the advanced people too, but we really, really appreciate you seeing where you're at. And I think it helps you guys too, just to make sure. So last question, this is not a poll, but we're just curious. Type into the chat box, what type of business do you have? Like for example, when you go onto Facebook, what product or service are you wanting to advertise using Facebook ads, right? So, okay, fitness, local marketing, real estate brokerage, financial services, coffee shop, social media consultant, insurance, Amazon seller, insurance, MLM, video marketing, coaching, real estate, gift shop, Amazon product, collage performing, real estate, books, retail, women's clothing, yoga. I mean, it's all over the board, which is awesome. And I think you probably recognize that, yes, I mean, unless you are like, having some really weird B2B type thing, that your customers are on Facebook, right? And your time is now. You're going to learn how to get to those customers right now. So today you're going to have some huge breakthroughs. So get ready, because you're going to finally understand this big picture and how to put all the pieces together. And if you're going to get all your questions answered today, we're going to cover all that, no problem. And this is a really, really important screen. So this is where you kind of got to buckle down, and we're done with all the niceties now. We're going to get into the meat of it. So please turn off your phone. I know we're talking about Facebook, but close out of Facebook, go where it's quiet, and most importantly, open your mind. Ask questions, take notes. And we're going to do a really cool thing at the end, that the person with the best notes at the end of the webinar is going to win a 90-minute recording of exactly how we built a webinar that produced $10,000 in revenue in 90 minutes just last week. So you have to be present at the end of the webinar to be eligible to win. So please, please, please pay attention. Now, the best notes, what you can do is you can just take a snapshot with your phone and post it to the social media Ad Genius fan page, right? That's where we're going to take a look at it. So let's move on. And this is about you. You're going to learn how to be successful on the Facebook app platform in a very short period of time. And you are about to learn from the absolute best in the business, as a man that I have had just a tremendous pleasure in working with. This guy, Kurt Molly, is, I don't know, just he's one of my best friends, and he's also just an amazing guy, and he really has got a huge, huge heart, and is always reaching out, ready to help everybody. And he's just a wealth of information, and he brings a lot of energy, and he's built a very, very successful business. We're spending close to $500,000 a month. We have clients in about 37 different niches, and Kurt's probably considered one of the top probably the top 5 Facebook experts now in the world, and he does speak all over the world. And, really, really just an amazing network of people that he's connected with, and a lot of people reaching out to us. So, we're very, very blessed to have him leading the training today. And I'm going to flip it over to him. Kurt, are you ready to take over?
I'm ready to rock and roll this thing. Yeah, we got amazing people here.
Yeah. We got a large group of people here today. So I'm going to step out of your way.
That is awesome. I just want to make sure, can everybody hear my voice okay? We are recording. We're up and running. At a couple of minutes late start, as it's always interesting how my batteries in my mouse seem to die right before a webinar.
Yeah.
I'm like, how could that happen? So I know we're 25 minutes in. You guys gave me a lot of polling questions or answers, so I had to change the presentation real quick in the background. I was telling Shecky, I'm like, hang on, because I wanted to make sure that we customize this for everybody. So great, you can hear me. Great. Well, let's rock and roll into this. You know, everybody likes to talk to the glory stories, but I always like to tell people, look, I wasn't always a social media ad genius. And the reason that I say this is because you can do this too. You know, just many of you already know my story, but if you don't, I'm going to tell you really quick because today's really about the content and all about you. But, you know, in 2007, I became a real estate investor with my PhD, and that's my public high school diploma. And I refinanced my house, got $40,000 cash in my pocket as an entrepreneur. That was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. I blew through it. Real estate crashed. I ran out of money, ran out of credit, ruined my credit. I had to reinvent myself and figure out how could I make it work this time where really it's kind of like I used to wrestle in high school. How can I make it work this time where there's not so many other moving parts where I can get predictable income? And this is why I love to share over and over, because in the last 4 years, we've amassed a company that's a multiple seven-figure company. We work by referral only with 7- and 8-figure clients. But we get to meet some really cool people, and I get to share that information with you as well, too. So basically what we have is, don't forget, this is really important, is everything I'm going to tell you is literally going to come straight from the horse's mouth. You know, this is where we go to a Facebook event, and we have Facebook Global Compliance. Here's where we go into Austin, and here in the Austin offices, Facebook actually has a Facebook wall. And you can go in, you can write inside of it. So I should have grabbed a snag sticker to put it inside of there. I would have loved to do that. We also go to a Facebook Small Business Boost. Now, Small Business Boost, these are Facebook events that they put on all around the United States. And what we're always looking for, like some of the experts on here, we're always looking for that one gold nugget. I mean, we'll sit through 3 hours of a Facebook presentation where they're talking about a food trailer advertising for $10 a day, and we'll get one golden nugget. So it's pretty interesting. So watch this. This is really interesting. I always tell people we spent over $5 million in 2014, and then I go, well, okay, let me just show you. So we have access to over 200 different client accounts, but here's just a sample of 4 accounts or 5 accounts right here. Sorry, it's 4. Good thing I can count today, and I even have both hands today. So very interesting. But we spent $2.2 million in just 4 accounts right there. But then I also tell people, well, yeah, we spend our own money. I mean, there's $261,000 just on our black box social media products. And what I do is when we spend our clients' money, our money, we go to these events, we share all that information with you. Now, I'm going to show you parts of this presentation that I only shared at a $25,000 mastermind. That means that there were 50 people in the room. Actually, I take that back. There were 40 people. It was 30 people who paid, then they brought some business partners. But literally, you had to pay $25,000 to be in the room. And me and about 9 other people spoke, and these 9 other people are amazing. If you're in online marketing, a lot of these guys are household names. But I'm going to show you things that I only showed them, and I'm going to give you some insight that we've gotten from Facebook directly through our unique contacts. So literally an open kimono. What we do is I'm going to essentially take you through an 8-step process. And this is what I'm going to show you towards the end of the webinar as well. What we do is we take each step at about a week at a time. And don't worry, I'll describe this along the way. But what we do is there's some really important parts about getting started. So everything's kind of into a car theme, right? So we want to make sure you find your keys. These are the basics. You start your engine, you get going, you gain traction. Where am I going? You put it into gear, you're going a little bit faster. And then once you have all the bases figured out, then you hit the gas. And this is where you start ramping on traffic. And then we're going to start figuring out, okay, what's the simple mathematical equation for the roads to profit, or ROI, return on investment? What we want to be able to do is we want to be able to figure out what is that simple 5th grade math to produce an ROI. Then we put it into overdrive. And that really means, okay, now that things are really running in a really good format, numbers are predictable, now we can start to scale our business. You know, when I talk about putting it into overdrive, one of my favorite hobbies to do now is to travel the world. I absolutely love it. So for example, when I'm in Greece 2 years ago, there's people up on the deck sunning. I'm on my laptop for just an hour. I don't work during the entire vacation. But someone asked me, they go, Kurt, you have your laptop up. Why are you working out here and not on the sun deck? And I go, look, from a boat in Greece in the middle of the Greek Sea, I can literally pay for the entire trip in an hour because I know the mathematical equation. And this is exactly what we want to show you as well, too. And then you set it into cruise control and really automate the whole process. Now, every business has a sales funnel. We're going to take a look inside of a typical sales funnel that I've spoken about many different times. Now, a Facebook sales funnel really goes with attention. Those are getting the like campaigns, getting the basic foundations down, attraction, and then marketing. Now, all of this stuff is really important on Facebook, how we attract people over and who that is specifically. And then what is our messaging overall, and then marketing. Now, depending on your experience level, you may say, Kurt, look, I kind of got this funnel set up, or I kind of have a website, but then I heard that Facebook does declining ads. I've heard it might be hard to get started. What is this whole funnel thing? Well, let's make this really easy, and I'm going to start from the beginning. So here's a short marketing history lesson. Shecky, where's my big blue exercise ball? I love sitting on that thing when we're rocking and rolling through this thing. So I'm going to give you a short marketing lesson. This is going to be really, really, really good. So let's talk about Facebook marketing, past, present, and future. Now, on the left-hand side is actually one of the very first Facebook pages when they first rolled out, right? And the second one over here is a screenshot of what it looks like today. I mean, huge changes, right? Now, remember, Facebook really isn't that old at the end of the day. Facebook wants to be relevant. They don't want to be a MySpace. So what happens is they're constantly changing literally all the images you see here. Here's our ad. Oh, by the way, a friend of mine, Ryan Levesque, #1 on Amazon, period. Not #1 on the Amazon cookbook list of people who cook inside of caves, paleo, in the northern side of the hemisphere. Like, these are the people that we hang around so we can redistribute this information. But literally, this entire Facebook page is made up for a psychological reason of where to click, where to look, what the ads look like. This is big. Well, let's talk about traditional marketing in the past at first. It used to be around focus groups and initial testing processes. Now, I'm going to read you this very quickly, but a focus group is a form of qualitative research, it's a pretty big word, in which a group of people are asking about their perceptions, opinions, beliefs, and attitude towards a product, service, concept, advertisement, idea, or packaging. So what happens now, and has happened in the past for many, many years, they get a bunch of people in a room, and they're like, hey, Shecky, what do you think about this widget? And they ask 200 people, what about this widget, right? And there's lots of different ways to test market. You got two-way focus groups. That's one focus group that watches another. Dual monitor. One monitor ensures the session is progressing smoothly. Dual monitoring, respondent, client. Like, there's all these different ways to test traditional marketing. But here's the problem. If you're only surveying a group of 200, but you sell 1,000 widgets, and if only 50 people call customer service, well, what happened to those other thousands of people? Did they use your widget? Did they not use your widget? Did they not even open it? Did they like it? I mean, what happened? See, here's the problem and the criticism with traditional marketing. And this is very important to pay attention because this is going to make a huge difference in your Facebook marketing. See, the problem with the traditional focus groups is a fundamental difficulty with focus groups and other forms of qualitative research is the issue of observer dependency. Now, the results are obtained and influenced by the researcher on his reading of the group's decisions, raising questions of validity. So basically what they're saying is there's a small group, but the person running the group, they could have a different opinion that could falsely influence. It's just, well, wait a minute. Well, here's the thing. What's going on with Facebook right now is absolutely critical as we talk about the present, right? I'm going to show you how we tie in these focus groups, because really in the focus groups, you only got a small percentage of, okay, what were people listening to and what feedback were they giving, but you weren't really getting the whole big picture. Now watch this. This is crazy. You see that little growth tick mark right there? I mean, I don't even know if you can barely see it on your screen. That's 15% growth last year on Facebook alone. Isn't that crazy? I mean, you look at those bar charts, you're like, I know it's growing, but people always ask, is Facebook still relevant? They still have huge growth. So let's take a look at this. On average, 21 minutes a day are spend on Facebook. You know, a good website, if someone lands on your website and spends more than 3 minutes, that's really good.
Yeah.
21 minutes? 745 million are daily mobile users on Facebook. So mobile is becoming very important. We're going to show you how to capitalize on that. 1.189 billion monthly users. This data is a little old. I know this is over 1.2 billion monthly mobile users. But here's what's really important a lot of people miss. Over 30% of Facebook users only log in via mobile phone. So if you're not advertising properly is the key word. If you're not advertising properly on mobile, you really could be losing out. So here's the other thing. 65% of Facebook video views occur on mobile devices. So what happens is when someone's standing in the line of a bank, or, I mean, literally just watch people on a train, or watch people when they're standing in line at the bank, everybody's looking at their phones.
Yeah.
Well, when they're looking at their phones, what's important is how do we catch their attention very quickly to either get a lead or to start getting exposure on our business. And we're going to show you how to do that as well, too. Now, there's 200 million, and these are the number of Facebook Messenger users. Now, this is going to get a little creepy, but I want to ask, how many people here use Facebook Messenger? How many people here use Facebook Messenger? Go ahead and type it in the question section, and here's the reason I ask. Number one, because the conversations that you have with people inside of Facebook, right? Facebook will soon be tracking the keywords inside of those conversations like Gmail does. Here's the other thing. Now, this gets a little creepy. Because of Messenger and some of the things that you sign, you may notice that you'll see, you may know this person on the right-hand side, but you only had a conversation with them on the phone. Facebook's actually looking at your contacts. Who are you texting? Who are you dialing? Who are you engaging with? I'll tell you even something even creepier. I've gone to events where I've been around other groups of people for a couple of hours, and then all of a sudden I get a suggestion that says, you may know, wait a minute, we're not connected with any of the same people. It's only because we were in the room together as well, too. So, yeah, this gets a little kind of creepy as well, too. But it's either kind of like, okay, so this is either kind of creepy or it's either kind of creepy or we could take it to our advantage. And some people have asked, well, what's Facebook Messenger? Facebook Messenger, they're making you use a separate app, and you'll see why in a second, to have conversations on Facebook, like Facebook text, right? If you want to just text someone directly back. By the way, the average person looks at their mobile phone over 150 times a day. I mean, they actually pick up their phone. So notice we're talking a lot about mobile, but we really got to understand what people are engaging with right now. This is really, really, really big. Okay. Now, by the way, the reason I asked about Facebook Messenger is because very soon Facebook's already starting to test this with big advertisers, but they want to track the online purchases and communicate with businesses with Messenger. So Facebook's looking about what you're talking about, like, hey, Sheku, you hungry for pizza? It'll start suggesting pizza restaurants that are close by us. And very soon, this is going to be huge. You know Amazon, how it has the one-click buy? That's going to happen inside of Messengers very, very, very soon. I mean, could you imagine literally saying, hey, I got a video for you to watch. I got a video for $7 for you to check out that's going to show you how to X. And then all they have to do is just hit a button. It'll instantly charge their credit card. This is huge, huge. And we're just getting started. Now, here's the other thing as well, too, is right now you can embed videos right directly on your website. Before you can embed a post, but now you can embed a video. Facebook right now is so sensitive to video, meaning they really want to beat YouTube. I'm going to show you an example here in just a couple of minutes of how my friend Brian Johnson uses Facebook video in a very big way. But we highly encourage people, embed your Facebook videos on your blog post or website, and then retarget people back to that page. Remember, if you're getting paid views, you can retarget people. I'm getting my head on myself talking about retargeting. We're going to talk a little bit about retargeting, which is literally just running an ad for specific people who took specific action, like watching a video or going to a certain website. Now, here's the other thing, is this is not released yet to the public, but Facebook's going to have an analytic tool that's going to come out soon. And what they're going to be able to do is to track step by step, how long are people on your site? What are they looking at? What are they doing? Really important, Here's the other thing. This is part of the future. Is Facebook, they're going to be releasing video analytics as well too. So you can tell how long did someone watch a video? How much are they engaged with me? Now, this is really, really, really big. So check this out. Nielsen ratings, you know who do the TV ratings? Well, what happened is when Nielsen does the TV ratings, they did a study and found out with Facebook videos that people can recognize and make buying decisions within 3 to 7 seconds of watching a Facebook video. 3 to 7 seconds. So that means if we have a call to action within 3 to 7 seconds, we go on and we talk about content. Well, now we know how long it takes to capture someone's attention, and we can also follow up with the people who watch the video. This is really, really, really big. Now, someone had asked here, I'm looking at questions as they're piling in, and keep typing your questions, this is good, but someone said, hey, the audio cut out. Sometimes that's the internet. It may be on your side, our side. We're recording the whole thing, so we'll make sure that you get the recording. Someone else also said, well, wait a minute, Kurt. There's already Facebook analytics. You're absolutely right. There is Facebook reporting. However, Facebook does not have an interface like this yet, like Google Analytics. Facebook will show you reports, absolutely, and thank you for allowing me to clarify that. But there is nothing right now inside of Facebook where you can take a look and clearly see in a dashboard where all your traffic is. You know, we use Improvely, Get Clicky, and Google Analytics to currently look at our traffic that's coming from Facebook. Well, with the videos, it's going to give us additional analysis to really figure out exactly where people are watching our videos and where they're dropping off as well, too. So this is pretty big. Now, as I move on along, because I have so much content to cover, we talk about why is Facebook good and why is it bad? This is really important. So right now, Facebook has unprecedented targeting. Let me just give you a couple of examples. Audience insights. This is anybody who lands on any specific page when you put in a little piece of code on Facebook. Well, what we can do is we can analyze who are the people who landed on a specific web page or our email lists. If your list is over 3,000 people, you can actually analyze to find out what's the age demographic, what's the breakdown, where do they live, what other pages do they like. This is big. You can even analyze your fan pages once they're over 1,000 people. Now, I'm going to show you where that setting is, but what happens is you can start to figure out what kind of lifestyle do they lead? What do they purchase? What do they want to see for content? You can also analyze your audiences from retargeting. So I mentioned retargeting a couple of times, and I guess one of the things I should have done, and I will next time, is add in a slide a little bit before this talks about retargeting, which is retargeting is literally when someone takes an action like watches a video or goes to your website, you can display to them a very specific ad directly for them. And I'm going to give you an example in a moment, but just imagine like being in a flower shop, having somebody put a bouquet of flowers into the shopping cart, and then life just gets busy. Their phone rings, their kid's crying, and they leave. But you already had the flowers in the shopping cart. Wouldn't it be awesome to follow up with that person directly to say, hey, did life get in your way? Take advantage of this special offer. I'm going to show you one of our great strategies on how to do it. We make a lot of money doing this, and which is all through retargeting. You can analyze your conversion pixels. So Facebook knows every time that someone buys a product. This is just a small piece of code that Facebook gives you that's absolutely for free that you can attach to your website. So what's really interesting is you're able to see who are my buyers? Who are my leads exactly? What country are they from? What city are they from? Do they live in the city, out of the city? Do they have kids? Do they own a house? What is that? Well, the other great thing is you can also target buying habits. See, Facebook, the pixels that you use, and again, pixels are just a small piece of code, but there's actually a user agreement that's in the back of your fan page that says, we are currently using, and I'm summarizing, we're currently using the data from your pixel to help better serve targeted ads. You have more enhanced targeting if you allow us to share this information. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but it's in the back of your fan page. So Facebook knows when there's leads, who's opting in for a lead, who's buying. This is really important. See, Facebook has so much traffic, they're always doing split testing. So they're always finding out who likes what, who's clicking on what ad, besides just the targeting that you pick out. See, this is inside called Audience Insights. If you go into Audience Insights, you can analyze who visited your web pages as long as you have the Facebook code. Again, that's for free. Now, see, the interesting thing is Facebook used to say, keep people inside of Facebook. If you keep them inside of Facebook, you will have cheaper clicks. And if you keep them inside of Facebook, people want to stay in Facebook. Since Facebook made these tracking pixels, conversion, retargeting that you put on your site, now Facebook can see everything that you do. So Facebook doesn't care if you stay on Facebook. You know what's interesting is I saw this from a friend of mine the other day that he posted on the Facebook. Do you know Facebook is the largest content network in the world? Think about this for a second. The largest content network in the world. People are uploading content at an amazing rate. But Facebook doesn't publish any of their own content. Isn't that interesting? Right? So they have so much data on the user base. It's huge. Now, so we have unprecedented targeting, but we can also monitor and target purchasing habits. We can target people who purchased something on Facebook in the last 90 days. Now, coming very soon, we're going to be able to target people based off their messages inside of Messenger and the topics they're talking about on Facebook. Oh, this is huge. This is really, really, really big. Now, fastest way to produce a quantifiable test. Look, every single client that comes into Blackbox, what we do is we tell them, we're going to test you on Facebook first. Why? Because it's the fastest, easiest way to start testing to produce that quantifiable result. Now, here's the bad. If I'm going to share with you the good, I got to share with you the bad as well, too. So there's 2 million advertisers on Facebook, which means there's horrible communication. Right now, customer service is at a complete overwhelm. And if anybody here has had to fill out a customer service ticket, many times Facebook may not reply back. It's not that they don't want to, they might not have the answer for you. So they just don't respond. Sometimes I tell our Facebook people that we talk to is Facebook could sometimes like a 14-year-old girl. They're not going to tell you why they're mad at you. They're not going to tell you what happened, but they're going to be mad at you. But you're not going to know why. It's the craziest thing. So Facebook judges your business by modeling. See what Facebook's doing. Remember how I talked about those focus groups? You'd only talk to 200, but sell 1,000 widgets. Remember how I talked about that? Now Facebook's looking at, okay, what kind of messages are making sales? What kind of messages are people not clicking on? What kind of images do people not like? And Facebook's able to take billions and billions of posts and aggregate them to figure out what works and what doesn't. But it's done automatically. So the problem with that is Facebook's not going to have time to review your specific business. They're not going to look at your business and say, hey, you got a great flower shop. You must be doing great. They may shut down your ads. And you're like, well, how did you shut down my account? What happened? Well, because of the 2 million advertisers, unfortunately, Facebook doesn't proactively reach out to, anyone. Now, there is a terms of use, but there's little to no written documentation. Now, we are really taking care of our students on this one. Because of our contacts, we're writing some pretty big step-by-step instructions on what Facebook doesn't talk about, but what has happened inside of our that we've seen inside of our strategy. Now, almost no way to talk with anyone consistently. That means you have a Facebook Go rep for 30 days, which is great. So you have a Facebook Go rep that you can talk to for 30 days. But the problem is they're going to tell you, here's how you place an ad. There's no marketing knowledge behind it. They're reading out of a binder. And Facebook selects who they want to work with. It doesn't matter how much money you spend. And the other thing is there's canned responses. So you don't get specific insight because Facebook feels if you knew the specific rules, then you would cheat them, which I just think is the craziest thing. I just think it's really just the craziest thing that they won't tell you exactly why and what happened. And sometimes accounts can be disabled and ads can be declined for little to no reason. So what I always tell people to do, make sure you check out the terms of use. Really important, right? We read it over once a month as our staff. Very, very, very important. Now, let's talk about compliance for just a second. This is very important to understand. Compliance versus policy. These are two different things, and this is very important for me to talk about as we're going over the strategy. See, compliance in general, compliance means conforming to a rule such as a specification, policy, standard, or law, right? If it's posted 60 miles an hour and you go 70, it's great, like absolutely, right? That you actually broke the law. However, policy is a deliberate system of principles to guide decisions. Well, what happens if I'm going 61 miles an hour and the speed limit's 60? Should I get a ticket? It's kind of a gray area. It's only a mile. Do I clog the court system? Does the cop want to pull me over? So imagine the compliance department at Facebook is enforcing policy. But that doesn't mean they're the judge and the jury, right? This is really important to understand. See, there's no round table of people at Facebook that create policy. It's all based on user feedback. Now, there is a way inside the reporting to quantify, okay, so who's not liking my ads? Because, Facebook actually takes a look at the little X on the right-hand side. Who closes out your ad? How many people complain about your ad? They're all aggregating this information, but unless you know exactly where to look, you don't know if your ads are really making people happy, which Facebook loves to serve more of them, or if they don't like your ad, Facebook's not going to serve your ads. You'd be like, well, wait a minute, I got an ad, it's not running. It's one of the reasons why. Now, they use a lot of modeling, user testing, platform testing, user engagement. Basically, this is the best way that I can explain it. This is it. Facebook's always watching. Always. Now, check this out. Here's what's working for us. Now, I like to put on here what's working now. It's a magazine cover I was on for saying, hey, Kurt, what's working? And I'm like, oh, this is a great place in the presentation to say what's working. Oh, now that's what I used on here. So what's working for us? A lot of video. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to use video, but I'm going to show you an example, but we use it for cold and retargeting. Retargeting has been huge for us. Now, this is the entire funnel from acquisition to post-sale. So this is really engaging with our avatar. Conversion and audience pixels, the entire funnel. I'm going to show you a step-by-step map on that. Lookalike audiences. And what lookalike audiences are is once you reach 100 leads, 100 sales, or you get 100 people past the conversion pixel, we always recommend 100. You can go lower, but we always recommend 100. So Facebook has quantifiable data. Then Facebook will create a lookalike audience. Now, a lookalike audience, oh, this is really good. A lookalike audience, Facebook will actually go out and say, oh, you know what? These people have a lot of similarities to the people who bought your product. We will go out and target those people for you. So instead of you having to figure out keywords or interests or what people like or their buying behavior, Facebook will start doing all the heavy lifting for you. And you can create lookalike audiences off of your email list, registrations at an event, pixels that you place on, fan pages. Here's the other thing. Longer posts, stories, videos have better and better congruency. So Facebook actually wants you to improve the user experience. Now, notice I am not saying what Facebook wants you to do is, hey, click on this ad right now to buy right now. That's not what Facebook wants. What Facebook wants is engagement. They want the ads to know exactly step by step that it's contributing to their ecosystem in a good way. Now, Facebook compliance, insight, and ad reps and public information. So what's working for us? I'll tell you, we built relationships with people internally at Facebook that are amazing. Now, we're talking at all different levels of Facebook as well, too. So I'm going to show you here towards the end where I can, we actually have staff that will look over your ads to help you out with that as well, too, to make sure your ads have a very high probability of not getting declined. We're also using a lot of blogging, retargeting, and follow-up as well, too. So retargeting is, it shows advertising messages on Facebook to people who have been on my site or offer. Retargeting can boost ad response up to 400%. Now, Social Media Ad Genius, 43% of our online revenue in 2014 came from retargeting. So placing specific ads when people took specific actions. Now, this is a place where you definitely take a screenshot. I'd be happy to send you the recording. And if you ask at the end of this presentation, I'd be happy to even send you the slides as well, too, just so you can really take a look in the notes. But again, this is only for the people who participate live and stay to the very end of the presentation. If you're listening to this in the replay, unfortunately, we do not give out slides for just the replay, only live attendees. We like to reward action takers. See, what happens is when someone clicks on our ad, we look at it as a micro commitment. Well, they were interested. They went to our landing page. So what we do is we retarget. The fortune is in the follow-up. This is why we have the follow-up cookie. So this follow-up cookie essentially right here is we are following up with people who went to my website or my landing page but did not submit as a lead. They did not enter in their information. Well, what I'm going to do is once a week, I'm going to do a blog post, and either I'm going to send out a video or an advertisement that if they click on my site, they're going to see our weekly blog post. Once someone's engaged with me, I want to re-engage with them even if they didn't offer in their contact information. Now, let's say someone enters their contact information. Awesome. When they do, how should I follow up? Well, we always talk about marketing that's kind of like dating. We want to make sure that we're following up on the conversation. So if they opted in, we're going to give them more information on our products and services. The way that I do that is I like to do that through video. So for me, it's easy to record quick video, and you can do it off of an iPhone. People love to relate with you. But a lot of people say that they just don't want to get on video. That's fine. You can place a simple ad, but remember, most people do not buy for two major reasons. Number one, this is really important. Number one is they don't have enough information to buy. Number two, they don't know the urgency to buy. This is really important, right? So what happens is someone's like, hey, Kurt, breathe. I love this stuff. So sometimes I talk a little fast, so I apologize. Just let me know if I'm talking too fast, because I love this stuff, but I want to be so sensitive to everyone's time as well too. So see, what happens is I want to continue building a relationship with my audience step by step. And the way that I want to do that is I want to continue the conversation from when they go to my website to enter in their lead information to even from there, this is really important, give them an urgency of why to buy right now. So many people I see in sales, and I've been in sales since I've been 15 years old. I think actually one of my very first supervisors ever in the call center may even be on today's webinar, which I'm absolutely honored from. Mrs. Graham, her and her husband Mike, amazing people. I should say her, Joan. I'll just say your name, which is great. But what happens is it's all about the follow-up. And it was so important. Now it translates over to ads. Well, the other thing that I do is if someone goes to my shopping cart and puts those flowers in there like we talked about, I want to make sure that I'm going to follow up with them with testimonials, social proof, and why buy now. I'm actually going to walk you through a full campaign in about 3 or 4 minutes of how we did this. Now, this is definitely someplace you want to take a screenshot or get a copy of the slides, again, just for the live presentation. Retargeting tips, segment your story. So the landing page, website visitors. So let's say they walk past your physical store, like your landing page on your website, but they didn't come in. How can you retarget them to bring them back? They walked by your store, they saw your site. People who opt in or subscribe. People who view your sales page. Also, always follow up with buyers. It's really important. The reason that you want to follow up with buyers is because that's your best audience. If they've bought with you once, a lot of times they've stopped making a buying decision somewhere else. And this is a great place to target your buyers when you come out with a new special, when you come out with a new product. These are the first people that should be notified. Now, you're going to want to take a picture of this screenshot as well, too. We segment our retargeting, and this is, yes, something that we teach. We segment retargeting. Okay, so if someone goes to our website, what ads should they see? How should I follow up for the next 7 days? Like, what does that look like? Well, I just showed them the same message for 7 days. What do I follow up with 8 to 14 days? Right? It's kind of like the whole dating thing. If you're going to text message someone and say the same thing over and over, how are you? How are you? How are you? Like, it's sweet the first 2 or 3 days. By the 7th day or by the 12th day, how are you? How are you? That's all they're really saying, right? It kind of gets annoying. You want to think of ads the same way. We want to have an ongoing conversation with our avatar. Now, let's talk about a profitable Facebook funnel example that I said that I would give you. Now, it all depends on what your funnel looks like, how you flow people through, but it really comes down to identifying your right avatar, your right person that you want to market to get attention, gain attraction in marketing. Now, here's an example. It's kind of hard to read the video retargeting example. I showed you this. I'm going to show you the strategy and a couple other results that we've got recently. But this is where I spent $142 towards people who either went to my webinar registration but didn't register, or people who opted in as well too for the webinar. So I spent $142 to produce $5,200 in revenue. I mean, seriously, if you look at this, look, total checkout value, 19 sales, $5,247 in revenue. That means we paid Facebook 71 cents. We put 71 cents into Facebook, and it produced $26.10 back out. Let me ask you a question. I want to make sure, because we're right at the top of the hour, I have just a couple more minutes. I want to go through some other strategies. I want to make sure we're delivering a ton of value. But how many people here would put 71 cents into Facebook to have basically Facebook spit back out $26.10? How many people think that's a good deal? How many people would put 71 cents into Facebook and get $26 back out? Okay, so this is really important. I always ask this question in all my speeches as well, too. Let me ask you this. How many times would you put 71 cents into Facebook to earn 26 bucks? How many times would you put, some people are like once, twice, no. Some people are like, I am screaming, wait a minute, indefinitely, as fast as I possibly, yes, as fast as you literally, as fast as you possibly can. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, here's the other thing. Someone had even asked me, I'm just scrolling through questions, well, what happens if your product isn't $300 or $1,000 or it's only $7? There are lots of strategies to do it. Watch this. Here's what ends up happening. See, look, so this friend of mine, Todd Brown, many of you know who he is. He's an amazing individual. But here's what happens. Todd goes, Kurt, I like what you got to say, but I don't know if my audience does. I think you're pretty smart, but I don't know about what my audience thinks. I go, okay. So Todd sends out an email to his list and says, hey, everybody, I want to have Kurt join us and share with him some of his Facebook knowledge. But he didn't have this whole fancy funnel thing built out. He didn't have ads and he didn't have lead pages or pages for people to land on or follow up. He just wanted to see if people would be interested in an interview with me. So what Todd did is, well, Todd hosted a hangout, just a YouTube hangout that's free. And he said, hey, everybody, join me absolutely for free and listen to what Kurt has to say. I met him in a mastermind. Let's see what Kurt has to say. Well, what happens is we use this little device. I'm going to show you how to do this to target people, to retarget people. We put a Facebook pixel on the page of the YouTube video. Okay. And this is just on, just to be clear, we took a YouTube video, which is a YouTube hangout. I actually have videos and trainings for this inside of our social media ad genius community in the Insiders Club. But what happens is we embed the YouTube video and we retarget people. So what happens is at the end of this hangout, Todd says, oh my goodness, Kurt, this was great. People, scroll down below. If you want to see Kurt on a webinar this week, this Thursday, go ahead and put in your opt-in email information. Now what happened is because people opted in, right, they put in their email, they immediately see a second video from me. Hey, everybody, this is Kurt Mully. Let me show you our bunker that we have in downtown Austin. Don't forget the webinar. Don't forget. Now, I will be honest. I usually do this for every webinar that we did. This time I was a little late, didn't get the video in there, but we gave you an amazing free book. By the way, if you have not downloaded our free book, make sure that you let us know. It's actually Russell Brunson's great friend and client. He's giving away a book for the last day today. Very important. It's the only reason I didn't put a video in there. But the reason I put a video in here is because it builds rapport. This is almost like a second date, right? So what happens is we use this little pixel helper. I'm going to show you what this is on the next screen. But as soon as people opt in, I actually skipped ahead of this. Watch this. As soon as people opt in and registered for the webinar, right, then it comes up with a video that says, don't forget about the webinar. Do not forget. And I also, this is an important trick, I also say, congratulations for registering for the webinar. Don't forget, look in your news feed for a special tip. So for instance, everyone who registered for this webinar, well, your special tip was you also got access to that free book that Russell Brunson's doing. So that's my second exposure is when they opt in. But my third exposure now comes in the newsfeed. Now people are looking for my ad and I say, hey, look, congratulations, you are registered for the webinar. I can't wait to see you. And I got another bonus and a couple of tips. This is the third exposure for people to get to know me. Now, what I'm using that I've been mentioning up here is Facebook Pixel Helper. A lot of people don't know about this, but it's really important. All you have to do is to go to Chrome. It's a Chrome extension. Type in Facebook Pixel Helper, and it'll display this little green 2 up here. So it'll say, yes, the pixel loaded properly. Again, it's free. It's easy to use, and I like to see, I like to see who is cooking me directly as well too. So let's take a look at this here real quick. So when people now go and they're thinking about buying, remember, most people don't buy. Why? There's two main reasons. Type it in there real quick. There's two main reasons people don't buy. Shecky's like, Kurt, I've heard you say this over and over. What are the two reasons why people don't buy? Type it in the question and answer. Again, I'm a little over on time, but this is going to get really, well, it's already good, but it's going to get really, really good. How many, not enough info, confused mind, time. Yes, you guys are super smart. Actually, someone responded in here, too expensive. Most people think that people don't buy because of the expense. Not true. Now, I want you to remember this statement. Write this down. Really important. If the value is great enough, does the price really matter? So, Shecky, I am unequivocally, because I've done it. I've helped other clients do it, and I'm not making this up. Shecky, I can show you in the next 12 months how to make $1 million. I've done it. Other people I've worked with have done it. We've done $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 webinars and more. I can show you how to do it. Shecky, would you pay me $25,000 to show you how to make $1 million in the next 12 months?
Yes.
Shecky's an entrepreneur. Many people would say, is there a guarantee? I can't give a guarantee because I don't know if Shecky's going to do the work. I can guarantee my information does produce results. But remember, most people don't buy because they don't have enough information to buy, or they don't have the urgency of why to buy right now. And a lot of you got that, which is absolutely great. So watch this. Here's my 4th exposure where I say, hey, look, everybody, here is the replay. It's my 5th exposure. So I'm running ads. Now I'm saying, hey, here's the replay. And I'm also saying, you're going to see this on Monday, final notice, final notice, final notice. That's my 6th exposure. Now what happens is when someone buys, we send them a thank you video. Thank you so much for participating inside the community. Absolutely amazing. This is really, really, really important. You always want to make sure you're staying in front of your buyers. That's my 7th exposure. Well, watch this. Every Tuesday, we release a new blog article. So we send an email out to our email list, and we're going to retarget people over to our new blog post. See, I'm keeping in front of my people. I don't have to have a huge ad budget to get a lot of exposure. Now, number 9, if I'm going to have another webinar that comes up, like what I'm doing right now, a brand new webinar, now we can retarget everybody. We only spent, I think, about $400 on retargeting over the last 2 days to get over 1,200 people to register for the webinar.
Yeah.
Right? And we don't have a huge list. It's just how we engage with people. Now, I want to show you an example of how important retargeting is. Here's $1,200 spent on retargeting that made us $6,800. This is over the last 2 weeks, actually. This is really where the pot of gold is. Now, we had another client. Here's another one where we spent $498 over 1 week to make $3,300 back. Now, this is important. Profitable Facebook funnels for retargeting. This is really important. You know, a client came to us and they said, Kurt, right now we're going through a product promotion. We put these conversion or tracking pixels to do retargeting, but we haven't done anything with the ads. Can you help us? And I go, wait a minute. So you have retargeting pixels set up. You have the ability to retarget. You just haven't turned on the ads? They're like, no, can you help me? Yes. So what we did is they go, well, what's your prediction? And I go, I bet we can get 20 sales at $369. We ended up getting 53 sales by the time I took the screenshot. That's $19,557 in gross revenue. We spent $700. See, this is all about knowing your avatar and the follow-up message. That means we put in 50 cents a click to earn $13 back out. 50 cents to earn 13 bucks. Here's how the campaign ended up. We spent $911. That is literally about three times for one product, right? So we spent about 3 times. We put in 68 cents to make 19 back. We made 72 sales. That's $26,000 for 911 bucks, right? And I'm going to round out with this Facebook videos. Man, this is huge. So watch this. So some people are asking too, hey, there's a lot of information here. I want to make sure there's a replay. Absolutely, there's going to be a replay. Now, remember, if you stay on live to the very end, right as I go over our solution, we're going to give you copies of our slides as well too. So you don't want to miss that. Really important. Now, I want to open your mind a little bit. I want to brighten your horizon, and I want to show you what the shift in video means. Now, remember, video can just be done on your cell phone. You don't need full blown out production or anything else, because look at these numbers. We're increasingly seeing a shift towards visual content on Facebook, especially with video. In just 1 year, the number of video posts per person has increased 75% globally and 94% in the US. With people creating, posting, interacting with more videos on Facebook, the composition of newsfeed is changing. Globally, the amount of video from people and brands in the newsfeed has increased 3.6% year over year. Now watch this. Since June 2014, I mean, this is 8 months ago, Facebook has averaged more than 1 billion video views a day. On average, more than 50% of people who come back to Facebook every day in the US watch at least one video daily, at least one. 76% of people in the US say they use Facebook, say that they tend to discover the videos they watch on Facebook. So they can discover your brand by a quick little video. Very, 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 very easy. All right. This is important. Now, Facebook videos, this is actually in November 2014, something very important happened. Facebook videos were getting shared more than YouTube videos. This is huge. Now, I want to show you an example of someone who just relied on consistency and using a simple video strategy. This is really big. So what happens is I told Brian, Brian's my personal trainer. He has amazing information. I go, Brian, just record a video a day and do a hangout a week, a free hangout. Now, this has brought him a ton of business, but all he does is he takes his phone. There's an application that I will, if you're inside of our community, I'll let you know what this button is right here. With his cell phone, he takes a quick video, puts that little thing down here at the bottom, and it really helps with branding. Now watch this. I'm going to go back just 10 days. Now this is, I did this for our mastermind back in March 26th. So look, this one video had 388 views. Now this is on his personal profile. This is no ad spend. We can say, imagine what it would be like if we used ad spend. But let's just say Brian Johnson. It's an iPhone video. 388 views. Posted video the day before that, 298. Video the same day, 283. Video the day before that, 247. Again, this is his personal profile. He only has, at the time, about 1,500 friends and connections, right? So this is only organic, but he has really good content. 892 views. This is when we were working out on top of, in my gym, on the top of the tower right above our bunker. 1,100 views. Someone asked him a question. He's like, yeah, I'll shoot a quick video on it. Now look at this. 506 views. Brian looks like he has a fancy computer back there, but I know he doesn't really use his computer much at all. So this is amazing. 506 views. Look, we're only on the 21st of March. 586 for views. Now these are views, by the way, I captured March 26th. They've probably gained more views. But again, I'm going to go back to March 19th, 505 views. Again, this is just a personal video. So look at this. A simple video funnel example, even with an iPhone, 4,800 views. And now his personal page is up to about 2,000 friends. I'm not even talking about a fan page. I'm not talking about running ads. I'm not even talking about retargeting people who watched his video. That's 4,800 views in 10 days. In 3 months, same videos, 946 views. Isn't that crazy? 946 views. So I got some questions coming in here, and I'm absolutely going to answer these. So basically, we take all of this information, we test, we monitor, review, we improve, we quantify results, share results, and we monitor for changes. We do this over and over. We do this with students. We do this with almost 700 people inside of our online Facebook community. We do this with almost over 200 of our different types of clients, so we can see a huge breadth of not only spending money, but industries, funnels. This is why we share it all with you. And this is literally Facebook's pot of gold awaits you. You just have to have the right resources, tools, and people on your team. And I'm going to give you that opportunity as well, too. Now, I do want to ask, and I know we've run a little bit over, but we're just about wrapping this up here. Did I provide you new insight and value that you can implement today? I created a little poll. Just go ahead and answer the poll. I created just a little poll. Did I provide enough value today? Go ahead and answer that poll for me. Again, we're just a little over, but man, there's so much information that I want to share here. This is important. Tell me you didn't learn anything new. Did you learn something new? Keep on voting. Man, we have votes just pouring on in. And again, I just want to make sure that you guys got value. I promised this was a brand new presentation. I promised you that we were going to deliver you content that I shared inside of my high-level masterminds, and I promised a solution towards the end, and that's where we're at for a solution. I learned so much, don't know where to start. Okay, so just go ahead. Just a couple more people. I just require just a couple more people to vote. It really helps me out as I do these presentations. Just a couple more people. Again, if you are listening, Do you know sometimes if you just pause for 6 seconds, all of a sudden people start paying attention again? Isn't that great? Hey, one small thing again, just vote. If you haven't done that yet, let's go ahead and round this out just to get a couple more people to vote. Just a couple more people to vote. That is awesome. Thank you, everyone, for voting. Let's go ahead and close that poll. Let's go ahead and share the results. So when we're taking a look at these results right here, this is great. I love this. So let's take a look. Learned so much, don't know where to start. I learned a lot I can implement today. I got a couple of gold nuggets. Thank you. That's great. I didn't learn anything new today. They must have hit the wrong button.
No, those are the 2% of the guys that were, the badasses.
That's true. And I'm always happy to trade information. Like I'll never say that I have the best, most amazing information in the world. Hey, I got some advantages, but I know I can always learn more. And that's important being a student. I had someone tell me recently, they're like, Kurt, I can't learn anymore. I'm like, dude, you should just die. Like, not saying you should kill yourself. Like, that's a little crazy, but you learn every single day, and there's so much to learn out there. But we make it really easy for people. Okay, so that is great. Let's go ahead and close out that poll. Let's talk about, let's go ahead and hide that out. Now, here's what we do is we leverage an 8-step process. This is where I talked before about finding your keys, starting your engine, getting traction, putting it into gear, hitting the gas, road to profits, putting it into overdrive, and then setting the cruise control. What we do is we start working with people. Week 1, we show people inside of a group, a very dedicated private group that I personally teach every single week. Shecky's there every single week. This is your personal attention where we have over 12 staff members, copywriters, people who are running analytics. We're getting insight from a great group of people. So we show you in the first week, let's do the discovery exercises. Intensive psychological drive into your mission and message. We want to make sure we're targeting the right people. Absolutely critical. And finding and defining your online identity and branding. A lot of people say, Kurt, do I need to start a fan page? Do I even need to fill out a profile? Like, why do I have to? Yeah, there's a lot of really small little details, not huge, but you want to make sure that you do them consistently before you start running your ads, or it could cause you problems down the line, right? It's like chain smoking. It's not going to kill you today, but what happens in 10, 20, 30 years? Like, what are the repercussions? So let's make sure we're doing it right. Building a magnetic fan page and brand identity. Creating a sales funnel that's congruent to message and identity that's not going to offend Facebook, that people will love. Week 2, we start getting into Facebook organic strategies. Now, keep in mind, this is something that I personally teach live for 90 minutes and have a Q&A every Friday. So, some people on here may have joined our Lunch and Learns before. This is how you get Lunch and Learns for over 8 weeks, plus support for another 4. I mean, this is really like a 2.5-month support program that we really give people. That's absolutely amazing. See, we help people find out their organic strategies. Now, there are some organic strategies, but it's really about identifying for your avatar. And then we start finding your perfect prospect. Your sales funnel capturing leads, your autoresponder. How do you get people to respond automatically? How do you get people to give you leads? How do you use lead pages and Aweber? I mean, we even show you step by step how to make sure that's all hooked up right. We have Nick, really our CTO, our chief technical officer, that will help people walk through. Did you get the whole thing set up, right? Did this button click on this button? So when someone opts in, do they get automatically followed up with? And then qualifying your audience with like campaigns. This is where we start building this Facebook virtual funnel. And we don't get likes just to get likes. We quantify information. We quantify exactly who's our perfect customer. We start promoting posts. We start promoting content to see what our perfect customer likes, because those are going to turn into great ads. Now we're going to, starting week 3, we start to optimize like campaigns. See, we're doing this together as a group. It's kind of like being in a CrossFit where you got 20 people. You got to show up at a certain time. It's going to be hard work. When you get out of this and complete this and work your best at it, you're going to have amazing results. So we start running into week 3. And remember, I'm teaching you a full-time trade you can use on this platform and other platforms as well, too. Because what's amazing, by the way, Shecky knows this, is you can actually have a lot of these ad platforms are duplicating what Facebook's doing. So once you understand how to run ads on Facebook, it's pretty interesting and easy to hit the buttons on Twitter and Pinterest. And that's another discussion. That is SMAG 2.0. But this is where it all starts. So what happens is we start going through initial reporting and validation. Am I running the right likes? Are they liking my post? How do I quantify that? Are we testing variables? Most people don't test enough. They don't know where to test. They don't know when to test. They don't know how to test. So they never really test. and they say, this just doesn't work. Shecky knows when someone comes to me and says, Kurt, this doesn't work. My question is always, Shecky, what?
Did you test and verify?
Yeah. Or what specifically is this?
Yeah.
Right? Let's get really specific. But most people just don't know. It's like lifting weights. Most people, like, I see a gym, I see Facebook, but I don't know how to do the right technique to see results. We want to show you how to gauge your avatar effectiveness. Use audience insights. You know, we've even worked with people before where they target one person and then 3 weeks in, they're like, this actually isn't the perfect customer for me. Let me tell you who is. And this makes a huge difference. We start using audience insights for targeting, specifically laser targeting your perfect customer. We show you how to create money posts. You know, if you over post or over promotionalize your post, Facebook won't serve them. So we're going to show you how to counteract that and to make it profitable for you. Now, the other thing that's going to happen as well too, this is really important, gauging or using audience insights for targeting, creating your money post, and selecting proper images for ads, writing good headlines. By the way, you're going to have access to have some of our people look over your headlines, and I can't really officially say who, but I can tell you one of our Facebook people that we work with directly is going to help us looking over images and headlines to make sure they're congruent so they don't get denied. Like, this is huge. By the way, I know people who pay thousands of dollars just to ask this person a question. They're like, Kurt, can I just pay you? No, this is a very private contact. Week 4, we start talking about the ads manager. What types of ads? How do we use them? How do we analyze the right results? What should I be looking for? Maximizing ad spending, minimizing waste. We introduce Power Editor. This is really where things start to take off. This is what we call hitting the gas. So we get together and we talk about Power Editor, advanced strategies. We talk about techniques, Facebook conversion pixels, creating the installation, building custom audiences. See, this is where it really starts going. And what happens is, okay, great. We're in a car, right? This is the whole traction thing. We're in a car. We're going down the road. Now, where do we want to go? How do I figure out my ROI? What's the right reports I should be looking at? How should I be retargeting people in my funnel? What's my follow-up? Season the pixel. Kurt, I've heard you say this. What does that mean? Well, week 7, now Facebook starts doing all the heavy lifting. We're going to use these custom audiences, custom overlays, literally step by step. This is just going to be absolutely big. Now, watch this. Now, week 8, this is where we round it out, right? This is where we all start to celebrate. We start talking about best practices. Well, I shouldn't say talking about it. We're going to solidify them so you never forget them. Proper selling techniques, creating predictable results in a final review. Now, what's going to happen inside of this final review is we're not only going to have a dedicated support staff and system dedicated directly to you inside of this small, intimate group, but we're going to give you a couple of bonuses because you've been on the webinar. I ran a little late, and I want to make sure, of course, that you get full value. Now, if your sales funnel looks like this, if you're not getting predictable results right now, here's the thing. Let's change that. That's why we put together the special program for you. We're going to line everything up. Now, this is only if you're serious, right? Some people are like, Shecky hears me say this all the time, and I won't dive into it too much. But I tell people, look, there has to come a point in your life where you treat your business like a business and not like a damn hobby. And I say that over and over because there's so many people in online marketing. They're like, Kurt, where do I start? What do I do? I will show you exactly what to do step by step. But I don't know, will it work for me? That is the wrong answer. I don't know. Will you work for it? That is always my question. Will you work for it? Yes. Well, let's make sure your avatar can be marketed on Facebook. Then let me show you the profitable ways to get this done. Here's how this whole thing came about. Our offices are flooded with calls. I travel once or twice a month. I'm inside of masterminds that we pay $10, $20, $30, $40,000 plus a year to hang out with very specific people. So I share the information with you. I can tell you, I gave one guy a tip inside of one of my mastermind groups, Cruise Control. Literally within 7 days, he made $12,000 on a webinar because he followed 2 small tips of advice. Well, people are asking me, Kurt, can I hire you personally? Shecky knows the days when I used to do that. I was on the phone all day long. And what I want to do, and I truly mean it, I want to assist and I want to give people a hand up, not a hand out. I want to assist more and more people to really live that entrepreneurial dream. Like I love planning global vacations because I know how much traffic it takes and how to convert sales. I love showing people how to do this. Now, basically what we do have is it's $20,000 for 2 days. Like if you want Shecky and I to fly out to your office, it's $20,000. I like to fly first class because I'm 6'3" and I'm a big guy. But here's the thing. Most people don't need that. Unless you're running at least $100,000 a month in ads, most people don't require that. Now, I also do a coaching for 5 hours one-on-one with me, which is $10,000. Now, some people, if you're running enough traffic, if you're running $50,000 a month, I can give you 1 or 2 ideas that will make you that money back literally almost overnight, depending what your price product is. But a lot of people have paid that because they really wanted that intense focus. Or what we do in the agency, for $5,000, you can bring us on for a 90-day commitment. And the agency fee is $5,000, and we ask you to spend a minimum of $10,000 in spend. So really important. Now, problems. A lot of people just don't know where to start. They've wasted a bunch of other money on campaigns. Now, some people tell me, Kurt, I'm going to go to Google. I bought these 27 other courses. Buy courses. I believe in buying courses, but also implementing and testing that. It's not wasted money if you learn something from it. If you don't know what to learn from your ad spend, then you're wasting money. But you're investing money into your ads to buy data if you know where to look. But people don't know what buttons to hit because it confuses them. Consulting fees are expensive. No one ever shows me what button do I hit. If you're in the Insiders Club right now with Social Media Ad Genius, you know I do recorded videos to show you exactly what button to hit. So people have been asking Shecky for well over a year, what if I can have hands-on training with Kurt? What about if I can get access to your entire team of experts? What about those Facebook contacts that you have? By the way, I don't make introductions there, but I do allow you to use them as resources to ask questions about ads. We filter that information. What about if we can mastermind with other students and watch other people grow? Guidance in all aspects of campaigns, looking over reports. Well, we're going to introduce JumpStart to you. What JumpStart is an 8-week live training. It's taught by us, by me and my team. And each class is approximately 1.5 hours. Now, this happens on a Tuesday. It's Tuesday this time. Is that right, Shecky?
Yes.
Every Tuesday. Then every Friday, we answer everybody's questions for a full hour as well, too. Plus, we have our own private, specific Facebook group. See, you get the live sessions, plus Q&A, plus deep dive into your campaigns. This is hands-on training using the latest strategies we use in our office, from talking to Facebook, going out to our other masterminds. So what do you get? Well, you're going to be an insider that is the first to know access to all the changes that Facebook makes. What's going on right now? When people want answers. Now, I'm going to be honest. As I'm traveling, I love to answer questions. But in the insiders group, I answer questions usually on a 24-hour turnaround. You guys will see I answer a lot of questions late at night. It's because I'm really focused on our business during the day. And then at night, when I'm sitting there watching TV, I'm answering a lot of questions there as well. I mean, I went to bed at 2 o'clock last night answering questions. I love that. But if you want quick answers and a dedicated team, that's why JumpStart is so important. See, we're also going to give you homework assignments that Shecky is going to follow up. Now, this is not to say you got an F or a C or a D. This is literally to say, hey, look, we want to make sure that you are retaining and learning the information. This isn't about who did good and bad. This is who's getting results. So we want to show you how to take action. We want to have you getting comfortable in investing your money for results. Now, we also know how to adjust campaigns immediately, while others are wasting thousands of dollars and trying to catch up. Shecky and I talk about this all the time. You can either pay now or pay later. You're going to be paying in ad cost. You're going to be paying in an investment. So do you figure it out on your own, not know what data or buttons to hit? Or do you work with a team of people that's heading to a common goal? Really important, because you're going to spend the money either way. Now, special access to a private Facebook mastermind group is just for JumpStart students and just for the instructors. The group's monitored by our team of experts on a regular basis. Here's what else you're going to get. I've never offered this before, ever. You're going to get a personal wrap-up call. It's a strategy call with Shecky and learn more about cruise control. Now, I do have a mastermind that people are in where we meet weekly, and that's where I told you I gave that one person advice, and he made, I think it was actually 14 or 15,000 within 10 days. That's where we can look over funnels and continue on that going. But Shecky's going to have a wrap-up call with you at the very end of JumpStart. You're also going to get 2 hours of phone and expert. Now, here's what that means. Anytime down the line, if you want to schedule some time with me, or if you want to schedule some time with Shecky or Nick, hey, I got a question on my funnel, hey, I got a question on my pixel, or I want to get a little bit of your time, I'm going to give you 2 hours. Now, this is going to be on the honor system. What we're going to do is, as you're going through the process, we're going to be here to answer questions, as long as people don't abuse it, right? But we want to make sure that you know that you have that phone and expert option at any time, whether getting started right now before the class or during class or at the end of the class. You have people here dedicated that can help you step by step. Like, I can give you great strategy suggestions. Nick can give you great suggestions of how to hook up your tech. Shecky can give you great suggestions of, well, wait a minute, they're already in your funnel. What about calling them and following up with them like what Shecky does as well too? I mean, you got some brilliant experts here. Get your ads reviewed by a resident expert. This is really important, something we've never offered before, where this person says, I can guarantee an ad never gets declined. And I go, look, we haven't tested enough ads yet.
Don't say too much, but
there's a high probability that it will pass compliance, which is super important. So basically everything you require to turn on the tap for an endless qualified leads. Now, as we wrap this up, you're also going to get 12 months of beta access of all of our other future products. So Social Media Ad Genius 2.0 is going to be $9.97 when we release that to the public. We are releasing it to Social Media Ad Genius members who joined us at the $2.97 level. We're going to release this probably second week in May, but we're going to do a really, really big launch that probably comes out in June or July. So either you've already picked up SMAG or you're going to be waiting until June or July when it's $9.97. You're also going to get VIP front of the line support, VIP invitations to masterminds that are only available to people who graduated JumpStart or who have spent, I say, at least $50,000 in ads as well too. By the way, if you can't make any of this, don't worry about it. We got tons of recordings, lots of recordings, some really, really big recordings. Someone just asked, hey, Kurt, if I already have SMAG 1.0, do I get 2.0? Yes, we upgrade everybody for free. Remember this. Remember two statements we live by. I will always do the right thing when given the opportunity. Always. Always. Number two, we always reward people who take action. Always. If you take action in one of my early programs, I have another one that comes up, you're going to get an advantage off of just the cold market. So if you miss something, we have recordings. I even record videos for people to show them, here's what you got to do on your campaign, because I want everybody to listen. I want everybody to learn. So now you're obviously really serious about making your business and your life a success. And I just wanted to give you some of the time to acknowledge you for that. I mean, you spent 90 minutes with me. Shek, look how many people we have on here. This is just absolutely amazing. It's huge. Awesome. So I appreciate the 90 minutes. So, well, first of all, you learned something. Now go out and apply it. You know, most people never take time to make the most important investment, which is in themselves. They're worried about buying a house or a car, but investing in yourselves can be absolutely huge. So you're online, you're watching this, and you really have to make a decision and a commitment, determine, is this right for you right now, right? I mean, because literally by now, at the end of the day, this is where it comes down to making a decision on what you want to do. See, we want to give you predictable results. And people want to know that this is a real business. We want you to treat this as a real business, and that's what we're going to train with you for. Now, I don't know how this slide got messed up, but we talk about, okay, is this expensive? Well, 2013-14 average college cost was $22,000. I don't know how many people have degrees and are still in that field. That's all I'll say about that. Full service cost, if you want to hire a management fee, you're looking at $2,500 a month, $5,000 a month. I mean, some of these packages we looked into are $6,100 a year, $8,000 a year. By the way, don't hire anybody to do your ads until you know how to push the buttons. It is the biggest waste of money. And here's the reason why. The reason why is because if you don't know what to manage and inspect, I'm telling you, you'll never be able to manage the process. So learn the process at first and then have someone management. Here's the best part. You know, businesses pay us upwards of $10,000 a month for my time and guidance, and it is worth every penny because we deliver a lot of value. Even our regular JumpStart students pay a tuition of over $3,000 by the time everything's said and done, but we are doing something completely different. We really want to make sure this program is accessible to as many people that need it. So what we're doing is exactly this. Today's price for Traffic School is, we call it Traffic School or JumpStart, because really we're talking about funnels and we're talking about traffic. Yes. $2,500. So we even have a financing option available for you as well too. Now the retail price, if you start adding everything up, is $3,997. But here's what we do: is we do have we have some opportunities for financing, which is really important. Now, here's the course requirements. You're going to need to pick up a copy of Social Media Ad Genius, and we'll give you access to that. And for some of the homework, it's going to come from watch this video, implement this. Watch this video, implement this. You'll also be expected to test around $500 to $800 in ads during the course. Now, remember, what I tell people is this. Spending 8 weeks with us, then we leave the Facebook group open for another 4 weeks. So you actually have 12 weeks of access to us. Very important. Look, if I can show you how to run $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month in Facebook spend to produce $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in profit, literally this is where I make the question is, does the cost really matter if the value is great enough? I've done it. I've helped clients do it. I've helped hundreds of students, which unfortunately, I was working more on the content of the presentation than the hundreds of testimonials that we have. I was going to do like 50 slides of testimonials, not read them, but just thumb through them. Actually, on Wednesday, I believe we're going to have a testimonial page that'll be out. Like I told Shecky, and I was telling our Facebook contact today, I go, look, I've helped actually, we've sold thousands of courses around the world. I've personally helped hundreds of students around the world, and I've seen success. I've seen Jeremy Howie inside Colorado smoke 4 packs of cigarettes a day, have 5 Red Bulls a day. Now he has a multiple 6-figure marketing business in Colorado. I can tell you about Tom, the volunteer firefighter, who literally is like, Kurt, I'd love to quit my job. Well, sorry, he was a full-time firefighter in Colorado. He goes, I'm just looking for a way. Once you understand the math, it's great. And it's really 5th grade math. So warning, to be fair to all students, there's only a limited number of spots because of me running the agency, because of the time. There's just so many spots that are G1. Gone. I guess that's what it is. I hit the space button. So once the spots are gone, that's it. Now, here's the thing, is it's not honestly all about the money. And here's what I mean by that. I'm looking for a cohesive group of about 25 people total.
Tops.
That's going to be cohesive enough where they can get along with one another. They all have goals. They're treating their business as a business. So there's an application process you must apply. Now, if you're looking for the money, we have options for you. We can help you with that. But remember, this is important. Set up the call with Shecky. When you go to socialmediaadgenius.com/apply, again, socialmediaadgenius.com/apply, there's a short survey. It's just letting us know, what are your requirements? How are you going to fit in with the group? Shecky will call you very quickly. Today we went out for coffee around 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., walking around the beautiful town of Austin. And I go, Shecky, what's your schedule? He goes, Kurt, I've cleared everything. And I go, we have over 1,200 people that are registered. He goes, I know, I'm going to get a flood of calls. So literally between now and our class is going to start this Tuesday.
Yes, 1 week from tonight.
1 week from today, absolutely. So the time is right now to fill out the application. Now, what we had a lot of people do, I'm going to give you a couple of different options. What I've had a lot of people do is they said, okay, Kurt, I don't know where I'm going to find the money right now, but this is important. I really want to build my business. This is something very important to me. And I tell people, and I go, look, you know what's interesting is I use a language sequence that says, how can I be resourceful to find this investment? I'm not spending money on a program. I'm investing in myself. This is really important. So sometimes I remember when I was really low on funds, I wasn't broke, I was underfunded. There's a very big difference. I would sit in my living room and I'd look around and I'd be like, man, what did I buy that was $2,500? A TV and stereo? How did I come up with that? My credit card? I put a TV and stereo on my credit card, but I won't invest in myself? Like, I would start thinking of these things, because here's the thing is, unequivocally, I know I can assist you in your business within reason, right? If you are selling pornography and drugs online, I'm not going to be able to help you out. But we've helped out thousands of people from around the world, and I've personally coached hundreds of students. And here's the thing, is since 15 years old, I've actually been involved in direct sales, telemarketing, talking to people one-on-one. We've applied this online and offline. See, it's interesting when people sell Facebook programs and they're like, let me show you how to do Facebook. Okay, well, how much Facebook ads have you run? I've run over $300,000. Man, that's great. One time? Yeah, last year. Remember, we have 2 businesses. One, the agency. We see all the amazing things that Facebook's going through the change. And by the way, when Facebook makes an adjustment, we see it like dominoes across our dashboards. Facebook made an update in the real estate market a couple of weeks ago. But now we know what to do as we're going forward. We share that information with you. I typically travel once a month to these high-level masterminds we pay a lot of money for to get insight that we share with you. So it's really important. This can be one of the most important decisions that you make in 2015. Fill out that application. I can't tell you enough, and you guys know that I'm excited, but I can't tell you how jazzed I get, how fired up I get with having 25 entrepreneurs in a group who's like, man, Kurt, I know when I apply this, I know that I'm going to start seeing results in the next 30, 60, 90 days. I mean, if you look as an entrepreneur, right, and you're like, man, where was my life at a year ago as an entrepreneur, or my business? Where was it at a year ago, right? I have Shecky do this on phone calls if you haven't already noticed. Where was your business at a year ago? Well, my business at a year ago is kind of at the same. Okay, what prevented you from moving forward a year ago to accomplish these goals? People will tell you, a lot of times they're excuses. I mean, sometimes things come up, let's be honest. But there is no better time to make a decision than right now. And the reason being is because that's when you can influence change. You know, it's interesting hearing people, Shecky, I can't wait to sign up and go to the gym. I'm going to start losing weight. Quit talking about it. Get to the gym, right? I'm going to start learning how to do some Facebook ads. Start learning. Learn now, right? I had somebody, I went to a mastermind. Again, this is $25,000 to be there. We're sitting one-on-one. We're at the bar. And this is why I love having these conversations. This person starred in a major motion picture about motivation. Let's just put it that way. I can't give too much away because it's way too easy. And he goes, Kurt, I should be advertising on Facebook. And I go, dude, you're known around the world. Yes. He goes, but you know, I talked to you 4 months ago and this stuff seems complicated. And I don't know if I'm ready to pay you yet. And I go, I don't want to take your money for the agency because you haven't learned what buttons to hit. He's like, oh, there's just so much. And I go, our videos are 5 to 7 minutes. Come to our JumpStart program. He goes, what do you mean? And I go, either open the course and read it. It's going to give you all the answers. If you can't find those answers, you will in the Insiders Club because I'm huge on community. Or, here's the most important thing, come inside JumpStart where you can work with us for 8 weeks, really 12. And he goes, I just don't know where to start. And I go, that's the problem. Start now. You have to start right now to make momentum. Shecky and I and Zach went to a Tony Robbins event.
Yeah, it was awesome.
How much is required to make momentum happen? Do you remember this?
You have to start.
Yeah, you have to start. It only takes a centimeter to start momentum. Right. It just has to be a spark. And then you have to be accountable and consistent. And that's what this 8-week group does. Now, we have amazing success stories. Usually we bring a lot of people on the phone who have been different students. My presentation is a little long. People always say, Kurt, you put a ton of content in there. You should make them quicker. And I'm like, do you want more content or do you want quicker? So we have tons of people here. I want to answer tons of questions that we have on here. So again, really important right before I head into the questions is number 1, fill out the application. Remember, we have payment plans. We have financing options available only to people inside the United States. But we have to figure out, man, I can't do this. No, how can I? When someone calls us and says, Shecky, how can I? We can assist you in uncovering some spots where you may have some opportunities to fund this class. Now, if this is your last $2,500 and you can't run any ads, that's the whole point. You want to be able to run some ads. But even if you invest from your credit card, the goal is to make that money back over 30 days. But the best thing that I love about credit cards is let's just say that you spend $3,000 in ads in JumpStart and you learn how to make it up within 60 days. You can pay your minimum payments on your credit card. They're just financing your entrepreneurial journey. Then once you understand the 5th grade math on how to scale those profits, the world's your oyster. It's a one-time investment. Now I'm going to leave with this, answer questions. You know, number 1 is I'll never forget what it was like laying on my couch, not knowing what kind of options I had because real estate market had gone down. I got a couple of local clients to help out with their marketing. I didn't know how I was going to be able to even drive out there to pick up my check because honestly, I was out of funds. And I remember making the decision of I'm going to find a way where I'll never be in this situation again. And that's what Facebook ads has really done for us. But, you know, it took some investing. I invested all my Christmas money into a guy named Mike Dillard right before Christmas when I had nothing left. And that really helped a ton. So here's what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to answer a bunch of questions because we went over. But right now is the best time to make a decision to really get your business rocking and rolling. So go ahead and start typing in your questions right now. I want to make sure that, of course, we get to all your questions. As I said, I went a little over and long, but I promise I am going to stay here as long as it possibly takes to answer all of your questions as well. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and send out the link to everybody. That is the Apply All link. You want to make sure that you click on that link. And I had some other people ask as well, too. Well, Kurt, what about that free book that you guys had as well? And I go, yes, you know, Russell Brunson is a great individual. This is for his free book. So I want you to get this free book, by the way. Make sure you get this today. It's great on marketing. It's even going to give you some insight as you're going to apply to JumpStart. I'm going to send this to everybody, but please make sure that you get the book and, of course, fill out that link. Now, a couple of things. We got some questions coming on in here. I want to make sure that everybody can, of course, see the slide because I know a lot of people, man, we're already seeing applications just pour in. This is great. It's great to have you guys. Again, fill out that application. Shecky's going to call you here shortly. Make sure you go to socialmediaadgenius.com/apply. Let's go ahead. Oh, by the way, if you took any notes, take pictures of your notes and post them on the Social Media Ad Genius fan page. Take pictures of your notes, post them on the Social Media Ad Genius fan page. The person with the best notes, I will contact back directly. Really important. I'll contact back directly and give you that recording where I spent 90 minutes to show people, here's exactly how I make a webinar. And here's how we made $10,000 doing it. It's step by step. So again, take the picture of your notes, post them on our Social Media Ad Genius fan page. And again, this is I'm going to run this contest. I'm actually going to run it. We're going to do it today, but I'm going to close it out at midnight so some people will be able to see the recording. So take a picture of your notes, post it on our fan page. Tomorrow morning when I come in the office, so this actually give people a little more time. Tomorrow morning when I come in the office after I get out of the gym, we will absolutely select a winner. So let's go ahead and jump into these questions. Man, I got so many questions and there's so many people here, Shecky. It is awesome. All right. So here we go. May I please have Russell Brunson's free download link? Yes, Sally, I want to make sure that you got that as well too. I'm going to go ahead and free book link. I'm going to go ahead and send that out right now. That is sent to everybody. There we go. Slides link. I'm going to go ahead and I'll send that out to all people who were on the webinar today. So GoToWebinar actually sends out an automatic email for people who were on the webinar or did not attend the webinar. So watch for that automatic email. It'll be with the replay from GoToWebinar, but it's also going to have a link for the slides for you as well too, Ken. Ken, plus I know where you hang out. You're inside of the community. We can help with that as well too. So what do we get if we win? Well, remember, Wendy, if you are taking pictures of those ads, what's going to happen is, if you're taking pictures of your notes, remember someone's going to get the recording, 90-minute recording of how I go step by step through a webinar, the exact processes I create. Oh, I'm going to give you a little tip. If you watch that 90-minute video, all the links for the presentation and how I do it are inside the Insiders Club. So that means you have to be a Social Media Ad Genius member already. But if you have access to our Facebook group, the Social Media Ad Genius Insiders Club, once you watch this 90-minute video, I have email templates. I show you how often to send emails for a webinar. I have the whole thing. So this is, if you do any webinars or are thinking about doing a webinar, this is where the rubber really starts to meet the road as well too. So please send to me. I'll get to the slides and the replay and the book. Awesome. Can I get a link to the slides? My family's waiting for me. Yes, Michael, run out. You'll get that. You'll get that shot over to you in the next hour or so. Would love the slides. Not a problem. Peter wants to know, what's the difference between this service and if someone hired you prior? Great question, Peter. So there's a couple of different things. First of all, we've never done an 8-week combined class where we talk about funnels and traffic, number one. Number two, we have never had a very close relationship with people at Facebook to actually say that they would review our students' copy and ads. Very important. Number three, well, I'll tell you this, we've done traffic school where we've showed people over 6 weeks how to run traffic. We've done some funnel shops. Hands down, this will be one of the best group coaching packages we've ever offered. The reason is I've never offered 2 extra hours of support of Phone an Expert ever. I've never offered to review people's ads or copy. And we're extending the times of the trainings as well too. See, remember, we have Social Media Ad Genius 2.0 that's going to be out around the June, July timeframe. You guys are going to be getting some of those contents and trainings way before everybody else does, even before the regular Social Media Ad Genius buyers. So right now is really the time to do it, because here's the thing, we've been talking about it. After our launch of $9.97, I don't know how many of these classes that we'll do again. We're probably going to do some type of big special for the class, but I'm just going to be very open and honest with you. And I love this. It's kind of weird to say because I want to be really humble. Like, I'm from a town of 2,200 people in Nebraska, so it's kind of weird to say this. But I'm being asked to speak more and more at different events. I'm being asked to participate in more masterminds. I meet our clients for the agency as I travel and speak at these events. There's nothing like speaking in front of a group of 50 or 100 or 300 entrepreneurs. When I come off stage, we have a flood of business. Now, I'm really focused on our agency because we have 15 full-time employees that, well, they deserve to get paid every 2 weeks, right? So I'm really focused on the agency, but I also have to be focused on our coaching and, of course, our group coaching and our JumpStart. I also have to be focused on growing our brand. I also have to be focused on evangelizing. So this is where I got to be focused in lots of different areas. I can give intense focus in 90 minutes once a week to train and another 60 minutes on Friday to answer questions. And I got a full trained, brilliant staff here as well, too, that can absolutely help answer your questions. Hey, thanks for the webinar. Can you send me the slides? Absolutely. Does the cost really matter if the benefit is great enough? Great quote. It really is. I mean, there's a friend of mine that I have. It's $100,000 to get into his mastermind. Could you imagine paying $100,000? That's like I think he does $10,000 a month payments for 10 months, right? That's ridiculous. But I know people who are now getting $7,000 to $10,000 a month clients there. So they line up 10, they've already paid for it. So it's interesting. They're like, why would I pay this guy $100,000? So we have a mutual friend, Jesse, for example, grew up very mild-mannered, actually didn't grow up with much money at all,
right?
Paid this guy, this mentor we're talking about, the very last dime that he had. Like that was the last money he had. Remember, he was going through divorce and everything else. Now he lives in a beautiful large house right outside of Austin that has a brilliant mentoring business that, I mean, in the last 3 years, the change that we've seen in this person is amazing. So people ask, Kurt, would you pay to be in this mastermind? I'm like, heck yes. And they're like, oh my goodness, but you only paid because I tell the story, I paid $135,000 for my very first house. Why would I pay $100,000 in 1 year? I got a 30-year loan. Well, if I'm able to make a multiple 7-figure business because of a couple of ideas this guy gives me, I'll do whatever it takes. Now, I'll tell you this, I'm in the gym every single day and in jiu-jitsu a couple of times a week. I want to do whatever it takes to have optimized health so I can be a better leader, and I will work my tail off to make it happen. But Shecky will know this from working with me, whether we high five, hug, or we're in a, what do we call, debate or discussion. I'm super focused on my business and I'm super focused on performance, and I always have been. I love our students and I'm really focused. And I think, I don't kind of want to speak out of turn, or sound like I boast. But Shecky will tell you, there's a lot of people out there who are kind of sort of consistent. There's a lot of people out there that are a lot smarter than all of us here. But there's not very many people that are as consistent as we are to focus on growing our business as well either. So Shecky, I'm going to keep on running this up. Ken says he couldn't load the page. I think everybody else, I want to make sure everybody else is of course, having the experience where they are able to fill out that application, because we see applications just really flooding in at this point, which I absolutely understand, which is absolutely great. You know, I tell you what, this is really, really, really good. So, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the link one more time for the applications. There you go. Send it to all. There we go. All right. I got some of my favorite people on here still, too. Allison King's an amazing individual. Let's keep on going. No revenues for 6 years, maybe soon. Yes, we can definitely help you with that. I am all for learning and committed. Not a problem. I mean, the thing is always getting started is absolutely great. Here's the interesting thing. Now, I want to be sensitive here. A lot of times our past are stories that we tell ourselves why we can't move forward. Now, it's cool what happened in the past. There's been some interesting things that have happened with me. I'm sure with you. Shecky, you've owned multiple businesses before.
Interesting would be an understatement for me.
I'm trying to be very polite. But what happens is, when it comes time to make the decision you want to change, it can be right now. It doesn't mean that, hey, look, I lost my business or I lost my businesses years ago. That's why I've been working out. No, I'm starting different now. It's not only a set of attitudes, but what happens is you start carrying yourself forward. It's that consistency, because Shecky's really organized, and he gets a little upset with me as I'm sometimes unorganized, but I'm really focused. So what happens is you take my focus, Shecky's organization. We're going to help you pull you across that finish line. Really important. All right. Somebody said knowledge is not power. That is the most interesting statement. I don't know.
The application of the knowledge is where the power is.
Yeah, that is super Shecky. I'm like, I don't know if I agree with this, but the application of it, you're right. You're giving Social Media Ad Genius 2.0 to SMAG members is yet another example of your stellar over delivery. Yes, you guys will find out as you're inside of our community, I will always over deliver. I mean, let's be honest. The Insiders Club's $47 a month. $47 after your first 30-day trial. I always guarantee at least $300 worth of value. I know people are like, I'm having a webinar next week. Kurt, how do I set up my emails? I go, oh, here's the link. Go to this, go to this, go over here, go to do this. And they're like, oh, okay. Literally, I'll tell you exactly what to do, because you know what's greater than anything else that I love? I love to be able to produce revenue for my company. That's awesome. But I'll tell you one of the greatest things, and I'm sorry that you missed this year, Shecky, but you were busy here. is, I went after traffic and conversion in San Diego. People are like, Kurt, how do you have a successful business? And I go, I'll tell you 3 things. 1, stay focused, never give up, ever. Number 2, stay consistent. Be very, very, very consistent in what you do. It's the only way you can see results. Testing, business running, whatever. Number 3, just be nice to people and deliver value first before you ask for anything in return. And I walked through traffic and conversion of 3,000 of our peers, hugs, high fives, salutations. It was absolutely awesome. And you get all this from running consistent traffic on a regular basis and really over-delivering. So we want to show you and prove to you how we're going to do that as well, too. So I mentioned when that's going to be released. Let's see here. If your product will be a good candidate, how we speak to someone. Yes.
As for John Sequino, I get your question is being very interested in JumpStart and need to know if the product will be a good candidate. Just go ahead and fill out an application because it'll automate an email to me, and I will reach out to you right away, and we'll have a conversation about it. So, yeah, no problem. I'm happy to talk to you about it.
He'll get you rocking and rolling, or to see if the agency's right for you. Eli's like, love you guys. Cool, you guys are awesome. Thank you. So since I already got SMAG, I'm all good. Thank you. Not a problem. Again, there's some people that will take the book at the bookstore and read it, and they're like, I'm going to apply it. Yeah. And I love when people do that. But you've always had a little saying and quote and story that you go with. What's your?
Well, I think it's great, and look, SMAG is a great product, and like Kurt says, we've sold it worldwide. And there's no question that there are people that have the discipline to go through a do-it-yourself product like that and do just fine. Where this is the biggest differentiation is look, it's like, let's say you wanted to learn how to fish, right? And basically you got the videos on learning how to fish. What JumpStart is what we're saying to you is, look, Kurt and I are going fishing, and we want to take you on the boat with us. Now, we're not going to fish for you, but we're going to watch when you bait the hook, and we're going to watch when you throw your line in the water, and we're going to talk about weather conditions and water conditions, and we're going to have a conversation when it comes time to reading the depth finder. So, there's a certain group of people out there that, like Kurt says, are real serious about their business, that want that level of insight. They want to be able to work with somebody who's in the trenches all the time, and they can fast track their success by working with us. And that's really the difference. So, if you're the kind of person that's really, really self-propelled and can do all that without those extra, insights from us, I say fantastic, more power to you. What this is going to give you really is 3 things. First of all, accountability, and that's huge. Like, one of the things we see over and over, Kurt, is that just people, like, the moment you say, look, this is what we're doing this week, and this is what you have to get done by next week, and here's your homework, and here's your checklist, and oh, by the way, the other students are going to see your level of success with completing this assignment, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, I better get this stuff done. And it just kind of keeps propelling you forward. And some people just really appreciate that little kick in the butt. I know that I'm that way. I know that every time I've gone to a situation where I had to learn something and I participated in some sort of coaching and homework and structured things, my success skyrocketed, as opposed to the probably at this point hundreds of thousands of dollars of courses that I spent money on online marketing and things like that. So,
well, completely honestly, though, too, is, you called me a little over a year ago and you're like, hey, I got this business I'm working on right now and I'm looking for a partner and I want to know, maybe we could hang out. And you weren't necessarily really clear on exactly kind of what you wanted to do. Like, you had a really pretty good idea. And I go, look, I'm so damn focused right now. Like, I don't have time for it. And you're like, dude, I just want to maybe hang out with somebody. Maybe we can work together. And I'm like, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and it worked out great.
You really do. You come over to the house, but then you started applying because we started talking about it. Then your business, and you're applying a little bit more. But now I have to get up in the morning because Shecky's going to come over. Now, because we started holding each other accountable, we're like, oh my goodness, there's so much work to do. What we really need to do is we need to hire another person. So that's when Zach came in, and things really started to take off. But it's because we were holding everybody else accountable. Now, one thing, Shecky, I did not mention that I need to make sure that I mention today. I think this may be up, but we may have 1 or 2 people left, maybe 1, because these go really fast. Hey, look, for the first 10 people, the first 10 applicants that we have, we're actually going to have Nick Bridges look over your sales funnel. So he can give you some advice on, hey, I would do this a little different. You may want to hook up this. Nick's had tons of experience in marketing online, and that's why I was chosen to be my business partner. He's a really smart, intelligent individual. But one thing that I failed to mention before, and sometimes I like to do this after we answer questions, because really when people are on here listening to this and they've stayed for 2 hours, they really want to know, man, give me all the meat and potatoes. Tell me everything that I need to know about this. So to help make this a little bit easier, actually, here's you know what? Let's just do this. You know where Nick is today, by the way, Shecky?
No.
Nick is actually traveling today. So you know what happens when Nick travels?
He gets extra work.
Well, Shecky, you kind of said it. So here's what we're going to do is if you fill out that application right there and you become a student, I'm going to do the first 20 applicants. Whoa. So I know we only go to 25, right? But
we have some people that are enrolled already. So there's people that come off of our coaching calls that are.
You know what? And I'll reward action takers. I'll have Nick look over their funnels as well too.
Okay, awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a chance to have literally work with this.
You bring up a good point. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is, in my opinion, this is where the big difference is of doing something like this. When you look, I mean, yes, everybody can teach it. I mean, not everybody can teach it, but there's plenty of classes out there, and there's even plenty of stuff with homework. But when you start looking at, our special insider Facebook person, you start looking at your skills, which are, certainly more, from a monetary standpoint. Mine, I think, sort of complement yours in that I'm much more on the creative side. And then you got Nick, who's just like this expert at building funnels. And you take, and even Zach, too, who's just amazing with numbers. And you take the talent that we have on our team and essentially say, hey, look, notwithstanding the homework, just outside of that, basically you have 12 weeks of unlimited consulting from this team. I mean, that's in essence what it boils down to. Because any question that you have that you post in that private Facebook group is going to get answered. You are never, ever, ever going to be stuck, ever, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at what people spend to hire you just for a few insights, tens of thousands of dollars, to be able to just have that kind of consulting for 12 weeks for $2,500, it's ridiculous. And we've been able to make this work, obviously, because we put more than one student in so we can spread the cost around among some other students. But that's really, this is just my opinion, I think that's really where the value is. I mean, yes, we're going to go through classes and we're going to teach you stuff, but it's in the not getting hung up. It's in the getting the insights from the people that do this stuff day in and day out and say, hey, look, have you considered this? Have you considered that? Maybe you ought to test this against that. And there's no do-it-yourself product on earth, as good as Smag is, there's no do-it-yourself product on earth that can give you those insights as you're moving through the learning sequence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting because at the end of the day, I was traveling with someone the other day, and I'll tell you a really quick, interesting story. I was traveling the other day with this individual that I really wanted to connect with. And they're like, hey, let's jump in this cab with 6 other people. And I go, And they're like, come on, it'll be cheaper. And I go, you don't understand. No. Come on, it'll be fun. Let's go with the other 6 people. I go, no. And they're like, why? So we let the other cab go. And then I stood there and I'm talking to this person. And they go, why did you let that other cab go? We could have split the fare. And I go, I don't think you understand. And they go, well, what do you mean? And I go, there's only 24 hours in the day. I'm really sensitive on my time. Like, I'm really focused on my business. And yeah, it's great to ride with 8 other people and save money, but I just want to connect with you for the next 30 minutes on the way home. Like, it's priceless for me to be able to ask you questions and spend some time with you. So, I just got a message over on Facebook, for example, that says, hey, do you still do one-on-one? We do. It's for, it's $10,000, and I give you 6 hours of phone a friend whenever you need it, or we can set it up. And it's really valuable to someone who's running $50,000, $60,000 a month because I give you 1 or 2 ideas.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day I love walking through 300 people when they're like we're going to have a live event that's probably going to come in August where we can meet a bunch of people. But I love walking through a room where people tell me stories of their success stories. And I can only do that for so many people because of hours in the day. So I either have the choice of my one-on-one, we charge obviously a lot more, but it's really good content, but I don't do very many of those. Like I have Shecky pre-qualify them and then I can set up a quick phone call, but I do very little of them unless they're on site for 2 days or that $10,000, for 6 hours. The other thing that we do is $2,500 for JumpStart and having you fill out the application, right? If you're not quite sure if you're going to do this, fill out the application and talk to Shecky. I've even told Shecky this. If you fill out the application, you're still not committed to buy by just filling out the application. You're discovering some additional information, but we know that you're serious. That's why we just don't put a buy button that says buy this right now. Because here's what we want is, this kind of sounds a little creepy, but I just have to be transparent with everybody. I was trained by a professional profiler in Canada. And what that happens is we figured out that people, he's taught me, and I've taught Shecky and Zach, people are predictable and operate in patterns. So please don't judge Shecky on this, but within 7 to 10 minutes of a phone call with you, Shecky knows in the back of his mind the probability of their success or failure. Shecky doesn't allow, and I don't allow, anybody in that has a high level of failure, meaning they blame everybody else, they don't want to take action, it's someone else's fault. So at $5,000 a month inside of the agency, we require you to send a 90-day contract. Now, you are hiring 10 plus people in that $5,000 a month, and we want you to spend at least $5,000 in ad spend. So you're going to spend $10,000 a month. But remember, you are hiring an entire team for honestly less than you would hire a full-time employee that's worth their weight in salt, who may know a little bit about Facebook. Now, at $5,000, by the way, I don't do consulting for those clients. Now, I'll hop onto a call, do a Jing video, but I have a full staff for that that's dedicated to those clients. So that's $5,000 a month. Now, every once in a great while, if someone goes through 90 days of testing and they want me to do a funnel review, I don't mind doing a funnel review. I mean, they paid us $15,000. However, JumpStart at $2,500, there is nothing else that you can do at $2,500 to spend that much time with us. Remember, it's 8 weeks of an hour and a half every Tuesday. It's 60 minutes, and Shecky gets a little annoyed at me because we go to lunch afterwards. Sometimes I go 90 minutes with the lunch and learns, but I'm also doing funnel reviews. I'm also doing Jing sharing. I don't do this for our $5,000 a month clients, because what we do for our $5,000 a month clients, we run traffic, we don't train. That's a very big difference. That allows us to scale our business. So if you're interested in hiring me one-on-one, you know the direct rates is $10,000. You can talk to Shecky directly. I'd be happy to set up those 6 sessions with you, or you can use it as phone a friend. We've had lots of people use that. If you're interested in running with the agency, I know that we have some people on here that have a lot of experience. If you're interested in running the agency, Shecky can point you into the right place as well too, yes, on who to talk to at the agency. But I'm telling you, that here's the 3 events that we have coming up with Social Media Ad Genius, just to let you know. Number 1, $2,500 JumpStart. Last time we're going to do an 8-week class. I got lots of stuff that we got to take care of before our launch. That's number 1. People can't even buy $297 right now, Social Media Ad Genius, unless they come through JumpStart, number 1. Number 2, we're going to be releasing our product, Social Media Ad Genius 2.0, to our current customers in May, and then again in June for $997 to all people who have not joined us before. Now, keep in mind, when we do that, that's the price that we're going to offer is $997. There's going to be a lot of enhancements inside there, but we're not going to have this intensive training that we're going over with you right now as well. And again, that happens in June, and that's just really getting a bigger, thicker book that looks a little bit more pretty, right? Now, the other thing that we have coming up in a couple of months is our bunker weekend. Now, our bunker weekend is $5,000, and our bunker weekend, you actually get to come down here with 10 people, and you get to come to the bunker where we study for 3 days together. I take you out to eat, you meet my staff, we look over your funnels, we help you film videos, and more. But again, that's only limited to 10 people. It's $5,000. So if you're looking for the best value and the most time with us, right now is the time to take action. Now, I'll tell you this, I'm going to answer a couple other questions. One of the most powerful, and again, I said I'd answer all the questions to the end. One of the most powerful things that we all have as individuals is the power of choice. The power is to choose. Now, some people wake up in the morning and say, you know what? If it wasn't for my dad's brothers, sisters, aunts, cousins, car accident that happened 10 years ago, my life would be perfect. Now, I realize, and I wake up every single day, and it's okay, I'm happy to say this, I'm not the best looking guy out there. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the fastest. Checky's looking at me like, you're not?
Really?
I'm not the most athletic.
Come on.
But I will work my tail. I was always picked last in soccer. That's just one of the great, wonderful things. But I will always work my tail off. A friend of mine talks about, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze here, more heart than talent. You don't have to have talent to succeed. If you have more heart and you're going to try, it's great. So here's what it really comes down to, and this is important for all the people that are left on here as well too. Number one, oh my goodness, someone just put a friend's name in here that I got to respond to in a second. Number one, did you choose the right choice today to further your life ahead? I have a quote that I got from Jim Cathcart, one of my favorite quotes. How is the person I am about to be, how is the person I want to be, do the things I'm about to do? As I laid on that couch, not having any money or options, I thought over and over and over, how would the person I'd like to be, not the person I'm feeling right now, do the things I'm about to do? I have to step up my game. I have to figure out how I can take my credit cards and get some personal coaching. I have to figure out how I can get inside these crowds of these masterminds. I have to figure out how, and I started with progress. So here's the point. Right now, and until Tuesday, you have the ability to choose. It's the most powerful thing that we have. It really is. You get to choose what you want to do or what you don't want to do. Now, it's not always going to be easy, but it's a choice. So when you wake up tomorrow and you get up, you walk around, you brush your teeth, you get something to eat, you're either smiling saying, man, I can't wait to take on this day because I have options. I've committed to this JumpStart program. I have a team of people that are pushing me. I'm going to do this and I will do it. It's your choice. Or your other choice is you wake up in the morning. It's the same morning.
Yeah.
Nothing changes. And you look at your significant other and you look at your kids and you look at where you want to go with your business and you say, hey, I made the choice not to change. For Shecky and I, the choice not to change is an impossible fear that we never want to go through with our businesses that we've lost together. We know that change is required, and to make change happen all comes with two things, a decision and momentum. And you have both of those with us. And by the way, I just have to mention it here real quick when I say we had a professional profiler is Blair Dunkley. Yes, Blair Dunkley is a great friend of mine. I love that man dearly. Absolutely.
Dana's on the line. Dana's was a student of ours in one of our other classes, and I would love for you to read what he said there.
Oh, Dana says, just one input for you. One of the benefits, and a huge one of that, of joining your course is the acceleration to success. In other words, it will drastically reduce the amount of time it takes you to reach proficiency and profitability. That being said, I might want to help get some people off the fence now getting results in the dental practice because you're training. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Took getting past some issues with the dentist, but once those were cleared up, started rocking. This is why I love this. I will have people walk up to me at events that I don't know. They're like, oh my God, Kurt. Let me tell you when I'm like, who are you? Like, this is the best business to be in, literally. I'll never forget San Diego. I walk into this huge, it sounds kind of weird when I say it. This guy rented this huge house. It was this huge mansion. Like, he threw a party and whatever. And, like, I like to get invited to those things because I'm a kid from Nebraska. I used to live in a small little dumpy house, right? And I love my mom. This is what I grew up on. So I love getting invited to those parties. And I'm walking through these parties with this new friend that I met, right? And she's walking with me. She's kind of cute, right? She's walking with me. And these people are like, Kurt, let me tell you. Hey, Kurt, let me tell you how. All it came with was advertising and providing value. Right. And all these people knew my name. I didn't know who they were, but it started conversations and relationships that are absolutely huge. I would love to copy this, but it says now that we're getting, but once those were cleared, we're rocking. Dana, I'd love to be able to copy and paste that. Fortunately, I can't. So that is awesome. Thank you so much. I can't load the page of the free book or the page to fill out the application. Well, that is really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to test those links right now. Those links should always be working.
I tested it before that we started, and mine worked fine.
Okay, so let's test the first link. Yep, the JumpStart application looks like it's running well now. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that link address right here. Go ahead and send that to everybody. Now for the free book itself for Mr. Russell Brunson. He is an amazing individual. You would definitely make sure you pick up that free book. Let's take a look. It looks like that page is loading as well too. So it could just be because servers could be just running because he's doing a lot of stuff today. All right, so I'll send that to all as well too. All right. I already put in my application. Do I wait for you guys to call? Yes. Peter, Shecky will follow up with you directly. Absolutely. Thank you. I'm getting 60-cent clicks to a website for a local business that resulted in 10 to 15 calls in the last few days. That's great. The average deal is 5 to 10,000. Need to get the retargeting conversion in place.
Beautiful.
This is something that literally you join JumpStart. This is how you make it predictable. This is what I love. By the way, like website clicks are great, but we're always looking for two important numbers. I don't know why I didn't put this in the slide, but the two most important numbers you will ever use in Facebook marketing, what is your cost per acquisition and what is your average revenue per sale? What is your cost per acquisition? What is your average revenue per sale? And then it doesn't matter if you get $2 clicks as long as your acquisition cost is right. Sometimes you'll see Facebook cost per click go up, but it'll give you better traffic. And a lot of people that don't have the experience will turn off the ads that are becoming profitable because they're not tracking their sales. They're just looking at the cost, not the investment versus the return. So it's great to hear. Hey, I posted my notes, but they've been deleted. I posted at socialmediaadgenius.com. No, your post shouldn't be deleted. They're going to show up on the left-hand side of the page. Once you put them on the page, they don't show up on the main page. It'll show up underneath the left-hand side, underneath comments as well, too. All right. Blair Dunkley is an amazing. All right. We got the other notes out. Just posted my notes. Thank you, Derek. Remember, we're going to run that all the way till midnight. Fantastic value. Thank you so much, Ken. How much does your JumpStart program cost? Wendy, it is the investment is $2,500 for a 12-week program where you get my entire staff, and Shecky can give you all the details as well, too. I mean, we literally have hundreds of people still on this, which is just awesome. I mean, we are 2 hours and 15 minutes into this, right? We started 10 minutes late. It's always interesting how, like, ready, prepared. Whoa, hang on a second. Here's what happened. Always. Like, no matter how, it's funny because people will ask me because, you know, we have friends that do a lot of revenue online, and they're like, every time they open up a special cart, their cart crashes. Can't they just figure out how to get a better cart, or can't they figure out how to? And I'm like, sometimes it's amazing because they'll put all the technology. Like, I've been there, like where I saw someone make $350,000 in 4 hours. I was there. And so many people flooded the site, it went down. And I'm looking at him, he's like, oh my goodness, this happened again. And I'm thinking, this happens every time you do a launch. He goes, every time we put up the technology to make it bigger, but we attract more people, and there's always a flood of individuals. And I'm like, it's just amazing. So
good problem to have.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. All right, people getting their business launched. You know, someone asked me, hey, Kurt, I'm just launching my business. Is it a good time to get involved in JumpStart? Absolutely, because here's what we tell people. JumpStart is literally, you are learning a trade. I mean, here's the thing, and I was saying this at an event the other night. Once you learn how to run traffic profitably, right? Once you understand the buttons to hit to produce predictable results, first of all, that's a huge skill. Second of all, to be able to convert that into sales. You know how to get traffic, but it's all about conversion. How do you convert that into sales? When you figure out those two pieces, and it's not very difficult, it's kind of like riding a bike. You know, you fall down, you're like, how does this work? I got these training wheels. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, I could ride this bike forever, right? Everyone wants to be your friend when you know how to drive traffic and have conversions. Yeah, everyone.
It's amazing.
If you know how to do it for your own business, you will have people say, can I ask you questions about your Facebook ads? Do you know the way that we get our clients? This is absolutely true, and I would love to have you do the same thing. It's a great way to attract people. Give them a couple of Facebook tips. It's not like, hey, post on your fan page twice a week. It is, hey, did you know with retargeting that I was able to spend $145 and make $5,200? I can show you how to do the same thing on your product. Like, it would only take me 10 minutes, and I'd be happy just to have a conversation. You're leading with value. People love that, and people love Facebook marketing. Now, I'm going to tell you, you're going to see more courses come out from more people who are like, I want to jump on this bandwagon. You know, the reason I work so hard is, number one, we have an agency. That has always been our bread and butter, our predictable income, always. But we're also always in the game. You know, we're $5 million in ad spend just last year. We're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month across many different niches. And now not only do we have niches that we market in, not only do I go to masterminds where there's some, I mean, the last mastermind I was at, there were 10 people out of 40 in the room that produced over $10 million on a launch. 10 million. But I'm able to take these ideas inside of our agency to make our clients even better. When our clients get better, they want to spend more money in ads, and they end up paying us more. We take those learnings and we share them inside of our community. You know, our JumpStart community is the first people who get direct access, but we share this inside of our community, and it grows. I mean, this hands down, let's just be honest, Shecky, this is the largest webinar that we've ever done. And we didn't really run any cold traffic. This was just, we emailed our list and said, hey, do you want to join a training with Shecky and I?
Yeah, you know, you bring up a really, really good point, because one of the things that I've always found wonderful about you is your willingness to spend that kind of money to go hang out with certain people, right? And sometimes it doesn't produce necessarily a direct ROI for us. It's a relationship. But so what happens is when you go to these 10, 15, $20,000 masterminds, maybe you pick up a nugget, but you're also building a relationship. And I want to say to the people that are out there listening to this right now, if you're on the fence about this, your $2,500 to get into JumpStart is going to put you in our inner circle. It's going to put you one step away, 1 degree of separation from the people that Kurt knows, right? So
Yeah.
if you're one of these people that's kind of been sitting on the sideline and buying a few courses and trying things, believe me, I get it. I've been there. I've totally been there. I was there for way too long. And it's once you start mixing it up and having personal relationships with the movers and shakers in the arenas in which you want to move, everything changes, right? Everything changes. Your attitude about things changes because you're being influenced in the right way. And it's very, very hard to put a price on that. But Kurt, you know as well as I do, as soon as somebody is part of our Jumpstart, they're in our little inner circle. And they get first crack at bunker weekend, and they get things that just other people just don't get. It's just we sit up and take notice of those people that are doing business with us at that level, and it's important to us to understand that differentiation.
Yeah, what's interesting is I'll never forget, Shecky, is when I didn't have any money whatsoever and I didn't really have any options, I didn't know what to do. What I know that I needed to do is, that saying that they say that your net worth is really judged by the five friends that you hang around with.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I had bad friends here in Austin. I'm a transplant from Nebraska, but I know that I needed different. I shouldn't say needed. I don't want to be needy. I required, because I made a decision. I required to be around people doing things that I wanted to do. I required to be in the same room having conversations with people to figure out how do I grow my business. Now, I didn't have much money at that time, so I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. And one of the best ways I figured it out was, we have a really big advantage over a lot of people here because of a guy named David Gonzalez here in Austin, Texas. This is where I met Shecky and Zach, a place called the Internet Marketing Party. And the Internet Marketing Party is a place where here in Austin, about 100 people come out every month. I'd say at least half of them are doing revenues of $30,000 or $40,000 a month. There's a lot of them that are doing $1 million a month. So we're inside of a completely different exposed group. And what I thought was, okay, I don't have any money or skill. How do I connect with these people? All I did is I volunteered. So I started volunteering. Hey, David, can I take out the trash? Hey, David, can I come to your party? Can I volunteer? And then people would come out and I'd hear some guy talking and saying, I can't figure out this Facebook pixel thing on my website. And I'd be like, well, I can do it for you. Well, how much do you charge for that? So many people are so fast to grab the cash. I'm so fast to grab the relationship. Well, actually, that's a really good question. If I just had your computer, maybe we met for coffee, I'd be happy to show you how to do it, not even install it for you. Because these were getting me conversations because I was leading with value first and service first. Now, what's happened is, and this is interesting, many people on this call will know we have never done a product launch. We have never gotten 20, 40, 100 affiliates, done a big product launch. The reason is, there's two big reasons. Number one is we know how to run paid traffic. So we rely on a lot of our traffic from paid traffic. We want to do an affiliate launch, but the number one reason why we haven't done an affiliate launch, I wanted to provide value to people first before I asked them to mail on our offer. And what's absolutely amazing, I go to these masterminds now, and I'm so fortunate to go. These people are absolutely amazing. And again, I'm happy to share this information. I do a lot, you'll see inside the community. But what's interesting is people will tell me, they go, Kurt, why is your product not $9.97 for Social Media Ad Genius? And I go, well, I just want to add value. And they go, you add more value than a $5,000 program, charge $1,000. They go, you deserve it. And I go, well, I appreciate that. I want to make sure it's affordable to everybody. He goes, you want to make sure people are taking it seriously. I'll never forget, a friend of mine, Alan, said this. And I go, well, I appreciate that. The second thing is I started telling people, well, if we did $9.97 in a launch, what are your thoughts? And they're like, oh my goodness, I'd love to help you. And I go, what do you mean? And they go, we'd love to help you. And I go, I didn't even know I could ask. And they go, yeah, because you provided so much value over the last 2 years, we'd be happy to help. So Shecky knows this about me. I just have to get a little bit better at asking but it's leading with the value up front. So a couple of things with that. I want to prove to you with the value that we lead with up front. Number one, right? That's why you set up a phone call with Shecky. People get to know Shecky before you even fund for JumpStart, right? Shecky can show you how your investment can really give you a return. But what happens is with leading with service, I've gotten some amazing relationships. I mean, with people who literally, I was just talking about this. Ryan Levesque, how did he get his book on #1 of Amazon? Period. #1. It's not my first friend that's done it. He's an amazing individual. How do you grow a $5 million a year company from the comfort of your own home? I have lots of friends that have done that. How do you have an $11 million launch in 2 weeks? We have 2 clients that have done that, and I have 4 friends that have done that. So what happens is I hang around with these people, not because we're all buddy-buddy going out drinking at the bars, which that is kind of fun, but it's that conversation that we'll have where somebody will give me that one tip and that one gold nugget. And those gold nuggets are what I share all day long as well, too. So, Shecky, I know you have a bunch of other calls coming in. I always want to make sure I'm answering everyone's questions. Yes, we're sending out the replay. Absolutely, not a problem. People are like, hey, I joined late. I understand. We joined a little late as well, too. Shecky could have beat me. Man, look at all these people that are on here. Shecky, this is awesome. Shecky, one of the things that I still want to do is I want to do one of the teleseminars, or not teleseminars that people do. I'm going to talk to a friend of mine who does infomercials. I'd love to be able to do a 5 or 6 hour workshop where we could really break down a lot of this for individuals. We may do that for our launch. But I mean, look, we're here 2.5 hours. We have hundreds of people that are still on here asking questions, which is absolutely great. How do I get the slides? Again, we're going to go ahead and send you out those slides. Again, that's going to be with the replay. So if you logged in even for 20 minutes, you're going to get that actually sent out to you. I believe that comes out here in the next hour or so, like that, which will make it really easy. And then let's see here. I have more and more questions. Again, I'm going to answer all the questions. Is it worthwhile to go through the program if you still have a new product that's being created? Yes, Wendy. Yes. Now, here's why I'm saying that. If you said, Kurt, look, I don't have any funds to run traffic. This is my last dollar. I'd say don't do this. But if you're creating a product now, that's great because you start getting likes, you start getting engagement, you start running people to your blog posts, you start retargeting people. You want to know how we got 1,200 people on a webinar? Literally $300 we spent on retargeting. That's what we did with our list. Now, we don't have a huge list. This isn't 100, 200, 300, 400. A lot of people would be surprised and I'm just going to be very open here. I mean, heck, we're 2.5 hours into it, so I'll just be very transparent. I think we sent out an email, I think it was to 17,000 people because we have an active and non-active. We don't send to non-actives. Basically, just to let you know, if someone doesn't open up any of our emails in 90 days, we can show you how to do this. If people don't open up our emails after 90 days, if they don't click on any links or anything else from any emails, blog posts, or anything, we actually remove them from the list. So even though we're spending a lot of money on traffic, if they're not engaged, it doesn't really matter. When people tell me, Kurt, I got a list of 300,000 people, or a friend of mine I just went to go see recently, he goes, Kurt, I got a list of 1.5 million people. Most people are like, man, 1.5 million, you must make millions. Actually, his revenue is a little bit more than ours, but it's not because of a list of 1.5 million. It's because of a list of close to 30,000 that are highly engaged. It's a really big difference, So, Wendy, one of the great things that you can do is start building that audience, start curating that audience, start getting leads. We even have a webinar that people watch for lead pages that shows people it doesn't even matter if you have a product. Start getting leads by doing webinars. That's what Brian Johnson does. Start getting leads by doing a hangout. Start getting leads by offering a PDF download. You can get leads now, deliver value up front. That's like volunteering, and then sell.
Yeah, start building a community.
Yeah, I mean, I have some friends that are like, Kurt, let me give you a great example. Kurt, I don't have any products to sell. Should I start running this? Yes. Why? Because if you get leads, you can start getting loyal followers. But I don't have anything to sell. That is okay right now. If you do it, what I would have them do is I'd say, hey, look, I'm going to show you how to pick a topic for the month and a subtopic for the week. This is what Brian Johnson does. I'll give you his exact plan since there's still hundreds of people on here. This is great. Brian, here's what you're going to do, and I'll walk you through the whole example. Brian, so let's go ahead and pick a topic for the month. This was January 1st. He goes, the topic for the month is how to live your new lifestyle in 2015 because he doesn't like the word diet. because this is permanent, not temporary. I go, okay, great. Let's break that down in a subcategory this week. So let's break it down to a subcategory. He goes, you know what? The first week of January, one I want to cover? Forgiveness. And I go, and releasing guilt. And I go, what the hell does that have to do with dieting? And he goes, well, because so many people are like, but I was with my family on Christmas. But then the other thing is, I really tried to, but I didn't, sorry, she was walking in here. So he goes, so many people are caught up in their own head that they never move forward because they're like, I ate too much last week. I'm going to start on Monday, but then it's Tuesday, but then I'm going to have to start on the 2nd. Man, it's the 3rd week of January. You know what? This doesn't work. So what he would do is he'd pick a topic for the month. He would then have a subtopic for that week. He would record a video on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And here's what happened. On Sunday, he would do a video on his iPhone that would say, hey, everybody, just want to let you know this month we are talking about your new lifestyle of 2015. And this week, I'm going to talk about releasing guilt. Now, a lot of people want to know, what do you mean releasing guilt? And then he would go into some examples. And he would say, because remember, this is the first video on Sunday, he would say, don't forget on Thursday, I'm going to have a webinar where I'm going to cover this. Now, what this is specifically, this is the what, but not necessarily the how. This is really important. So what Brian would do is on Sunday, he would say, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's what topic we're going to cover on Thursday. So make sure that you join our Hangout because they're free. Now on Monday, listen to my wording on this. This is very important. On Monday, what would happen is Brian would record a video and say, oh my goodness, everybody, thank you so much for those responses. Notice I didn't say how much or what responded, but Brian's like, thank you for the responses. It's been great. So people wanted to know more about releasing guilt and how that has to do, or what that has to do with nutrition. So then his video would give a little bit more content. Remember, he's not showing the how, he's giving them the what and having people realize, here are your options. And then he would close and say, don't forget to make sure that you register on my webinar or on my Hangout for Thursday. On Tuesday, he would do another video that says, oh my goodness, the response I've gotten from the last 2 videos have been great. Thank you so much. You know, someone recently asked me a question. Now, this could be a question which could be a common objection, number 1. Number 2, this could be a question that someone just asked you out in public with your family, a coworker. So he records a video. He goes, you know what? I've gotten a lot of responses off my first 2 videos, right? So this is on Tuesday. I've got a lot of responses for my first 2 videos, but I got a question about, I'm going to cover this exactly on the Hangout we're going to have on Thursday. Don't forget to register for the webinar on Thursday. Now, Wednesday comes around. Wednesday's video is literally just like this. Oh my goodness, this is huge, man. So many people have been following up. Notice he didn't say a time or anything else. So many people have started to register. Here's a link. I haven't given out the link. You don't want to post a link every time you post a video because then Facebook just thinks that you're just trying to send traffic directly to a website. So what you really want to do is you really want to make sure that you're not always posting a link promoting. This is part of our 10-4-1 content strategy. We train this. It's inside of SMAG. But here's what ends up happening. On Wednesday, he says, hey, don't forget to register for the webinar and includes a link. On Thursday at 8 o'clock in the morning, he sends out a link. This is huge. He sends out the link. And what he does, when I say sends out the link, he does this in a couple of different ways. He posts a video and says, remember, my webinar is going to show up right now. And my webinar is going to show up later tonight. Make sure you register for the webinar. So again, his video on Thursday morning is, we're going to have a big webinar. Make sure that you're registered. Now, he's saying this in his videos, but remember, anybody who registers, he's sending follow-up emails. Now, by the way, I can even give you all of those emails that are in the Insiders Club. I can give you all of those emails, what we do to follow up specifically, okay? All right. So now, an hour before the Hangout happens, an hour before, Brian releases another video, sends out an email, and he says, look, this is going to be huge. Don't forget to show up for our training. So what happens on Thursday at 6 o'clock? He has a training where he talks for 45 minutes, and he shows people, here are the options. Here's what you can do. By the way, because he doesn't have a digital product. He goes, by the way, if you want to learn how to do this exactly, is I'm going to show you exactly all the step-by-steps how for our members right after this webinar. So from 6 to 6:45, he gives people a lot of the what and some insight. At 6:45, a button comes up and he says, if you'd like to join us for the next 30 days for $144, every week we will give you the what on the free webinar and the how on the paid webinar. We're going to put you inside of a Facebook group. We're going to answer all of your health-related questions for the next month for $144. Literally, our information can change your life because they work with people inside body movement. They work with terminally ill patients. They work with food and body movement to just do amazing things. So here's what started to happen since Brian's been doing this exact same process that I just outlined to you for the last 90 days. Brian has over 50 people that have bought his product. So if we have 50 times 144, that's produced him $7,200 in revenue. Now that's not bad over 90 days, right? Part-time. But here's what happened. Because of those 50 people who bought, those are buyers. He gets on the phone with every single one of his buyers and he goes, how can I assist you? He's sold $2,500 coaching products, $3,000, $5,000, even a $20,000 coaching product. All because he started doing daily videos. And now here's the great thing. Sometimes he'll get lazy. Now he usually doesn't because he's into fitness, means he's really consistent. Sometimes he'll get lazy. And what he won't do is he won't do a video for 2 or 3 days. You want to know what happens? His audience starts jumping on him. They start saying, Brian, I haven't seen your videos. What's going on? Are you guys doing a webinar? And Brian's like, I didn't see you like or comment on my videos. He's like, exactly. What ends up happening is you're always on stage. So people may watch your videos. They may like or comment. But what happens is a lot of the times they're watching. They just haven't let you know. So Brian now I see because I'm attached to his fan page. Brian on a regular basis gets emails to his fan page. Hey, I've been following you for months. I'm ready to get started. See, the thing is you have to have momentum and consistency. Brian has consistency because of the videos. Now, the videos are not edited. They look funny. Sometimes he speaks wrong. I had someone tell me, hey, Kurt, one of your words are misspelled on your slides. Yes, I will misspell a lot of words. I'm sorry. Shecky helps with that. But I can run ads, right? Some people are good at some things. I'm still working. I'm a recovering bad speller. That's what I should say. But what happens is Brian's consistent on the videos. That consistency in the videos leads to people attending his webinar. When people get onto his webinar and register, they might not like the first webinar and they might not buy. But what ends up happening is he does a webinar the next week, does a webinar next week. And every time he does a webinar, so let's just say, remember I told you that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? How he sends that out. And then he sends the replay Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, and their special closes Sunday at midnight every single week. Well, if people didn't buy on releasing forgiveness from that first week, well, at least they're on his email list because they opted in. Now what he does is sends them another email for his new webinar next week, which is week 2. Learn how to get your head straight to understand your diet requirements before you start dieting and you change your lifestyle. So now he's still doing the videos to get new traffic, but he's emailing the people that are already on the list. So let's say they don't buy the second week. Well, then he has another webinar or another hangout on the third week and a fourth week. He's been doing webinars every single week. You know what? Now he's gotten good at webinars. Now he's perfecting his webinars. Now he's working better on a sales funnel. He hasn't really spent any money on traffic until just recently because he wanted to screw up everything organically first, get in the habit. He has a video. I'll see if I can pull it up. He has a video right now that's been shared over 2,500 times. It's produced hundreds and hundreds of leads for him that has been just absolutely amazing. So absolutely great. Absolutely great. So I hope that story, let me know because I still got well over 100 people here. Let me know if that story helped you out. I mean, that's literally, I just gave you the entire sauce, how that whole thing works. And this is stuff that we walk you through step by step. So if that helped, go ahead and type in the question section. I always want to make sure, does my audio still work? I just told a long story. Are people still getting value? I'm going to be here to answer all your questions. I want to make sure that you're still getting value from this as well, too. All right. So Wendy says, hey, I hear you. People are following me just because they love me, and then they don't hear anything from me for a while and come chasing me down. Pretty amazing. You know, Wendy, it is. I'll never forget this story. You know, my business partner, Tom's really a behind-the-scenes guy. You really don't see much of Tom. Now, I've always been interested in doing videos. I always remember this. This is really important. I always remember that no one will ever do anything, or no one does anything consistently ever. Those that do typically win. So I just have to remember that if I'm consistent, most of my competition is not. So what's amazing, kind of a personal note, is there's a lot of people who sell Facebook courses. But do you know there's not a lot of people who run consistent ads for their Facebook course? Isn't that weird? Like, I know people who are like, I just built a Facebook course. They send out 4 emails saying, you should buy my Facebook course. Then they advertise for 2 weeks and they're like, you should buy my Facebook course. But you don't have an agency. You're not running regular traffic. You're not running regular traffic on your own. And you only ran traffic for 3 weeks or 6 weeks. Like, run traffic consistently. It's really important, right? It's super important. See, because the thing is, what happens is when we first got into online marketing and we were in real estate and I was working with Tom back in our real estate career, it would basically be like, I'd be like, Tom, we got to do some videos. We got to do video tours of houses. We got to do these videos. Tom is 100% behind the scenes. He's like, yeah, videos are stupid. I don't really know. And I'm like, I just would think, I'm like, okay, I have a horrible camera. It's $35, one of those flip cam things. Now I have an iPhone, so it works just as fine. But I'm like, okay, I don't have any lights. I don't even have nice clothes. I don't have any money, but I'm going to tell people that they should buy these houses. And these are all stories I said in my own head. So basically what I would do is I'd start recording 2 to 4 minute videos, what we call our 10 by 10 by 4. And this is where we record 10 videos of the top frequently asked questions, top 10 videos, right? So 2 to 3 minutes each, there's 10 videos. That's pretty easy. What are the most commonly asked questions when buying a house, when going to a dentist, when filling your business? The other 10 videos, what questions should someone be asking before they do business with someone like you? So if you're a chiropractor, you can do 10 2 to 4 minute videos that say, look, before you go choose a chiropractor, here's a couple of things that we suggest that you should look into, or the questions that you should ask your chiropractor. So those are 20 videos, 10 top frequently asked questions, 10 of what questions should people be asking, 10, 10 by 4. The 4 is 4 videos about yourself. Now, you may have seen our advertising on our bunker tour. You may have seen how we've given people a tour of our bunker. That establishes rapport. Or testimonials. That establishes testimonials as well too, right? People want to see social proof. Again, I kind of ran out of time here, but a lot of times what we do is we have former students come on and give their experience as well too. So here's what ends up happening with Tom. I start doing these short videos, and Tom's like, I'm not interested, you doing. So I start doing these videos. And I kept on doing them. I didn't get much response. But after 60 days, we went to a real estate networking event. And we're at this real estate event. It's a bunch of young realtors. There's some cute girls hanging around. We're just kind of sitting there. Tom and I are both kind of shy. We're wallflowers. And I'll never forget this. Tom and I were talking about video, and he says it doesn't really work. We're sitting in the back. These 3 good-looking girls come in. Now, of course, us as guys, we notice them. We're like, okay, that's great. These 3 girls, one of the girls walked up to me and she goes, oh my God, you're Kurt Molly. I've watched a bunch of your videos on real estate. They're awesome. Let me tell you, my favorite video was, and I'm looking over at Tom and I'm like, did you see this? These good looking girls walked up to us and talked to us first, because we're not really good at walking up and saying hi. I know it sounds easy, but right? One of the things I gotta work on. But these girls came walking up and it really lit a light bulb where, oh my goodness, if I do this consistently, now I can walk into a real estate meeting and people know who I am because they saw my videos that I've advertised around. So that's the reason I do a lot of videos for Social Media Ad Genius, because I want people to see my face. Now, I know that I'm like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I look perfect on camera. I don't have any makeup. Maybe I need lighting. Maybe my sound needs to be different. And I always think in the back of my head, my competition is unwilling to do this on a regular basis. I can beat my competition by delivering value and being consistent. That's it. It doesn't have to be perfect. The ad doesn't have to be perfect. The video doesn't have to be perfect. What's perfect is in the consistency, not the actual application of that one event. So I've run ads before where we've spent thousands of dollars and I misspelled 2 words. And I've had comments. It was actually by 3 stay-at-home moms, which is kind of interesting. They're like, haha, you can't spell. How are you the social media ad genius? Haha, you can't do this. Why can't you do this? You can't even spell right. And I'll be honest, I mean, it kind of bothered me at first. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, these people aren't mad at me. They're mad at something else, and they're just ridiculing me because I don't have anything else to do, which is cool. But these ads have changed thousands of lives around the world. These ads have helped hundreds of people that I've coached with personally. These ads allow me to travel to events to meet people that I didn't have access to when I was a kid in Nebraska that graduated high school that didn't have any options besides working in the factory. These ads have led to me being able to travel the world and meet just amazing people and have webinars like this. So I'm kind of like, I took action. So I tell people I focus more on production than I do perfection, and think about that. As long as you're consistent, most of the times you're going to beat your competition, which is really good as well too. So someone's like, "Amen, brother, score, financing for Canada. So Daniel, I don't have financing for Canada. I have some options. Let me just say that. Make sure you fill out the form, the application. It's very easy, very short. Shecky will walk over. We do have different options for people as well too. Make sure that you talk to Shecky, absolutely, because Daniel would love to be able to have you as well too. So Wendy says, "Hey, great story. Really helped me. Appreciate it. It's an amazing story. Definitely signing up for the Insiders Club." Oh, Byron, yes, absolutely. I'll tell you, in the Insiders Club, I'm just going to show people this here just real quick. And then I'm going to go all the way to the top of the hour. I mean, 3 hours on a webinar is a marathon webinar, but we still have tons of people here. So absolutely happy to stay here. Again, I'm just really interested in growing a worldwide community. I don't need to make $30 million a year. Like, that sounds great. If I can help thousands of entrepreneurs, I always tell people, and again, I know we have people all over the world, but like for me in the United States, for me personally, and I love to travel and see other cultures, but I know you have a choice that if you work hard enough and know the right people and offer enough value and don't treat people like shit, like just be nice to them, you can really do whatever you want in this life. And that's what I love about this business. You can literally create whatever you want to create. That's why I'm so focused on this, and I want to help so many different entrepreneurs. But check this out. So if I go just really quick, everybody should see my screen. Let's see here, Facebook. Let's go into the Facebook. We're getting a bunch of messages, which is great. Let's go in the Insiders Club. All right, there's the .com secrets book. That is great. All right. So, all right. Thank you very much, Ken. Appreciate it. 644 members. Now, this video right here, this is at least a $5,000 video. I am not joking whatsoever when I say that. These are not numbers I'm making up. Now, here's why. I'm going to walk you through this real quick. Now, remember, this is just one example of the value that we deliver, but you're going to be able to work with us one-on-one when you fill out those applications. And by the way, make sure that you are filling out the application. We have tons of people that are still here, which I think is just absolutely amazing. I absolutely appreciate it, but I know that I have to be responsible as well, and I need to make sure that I have this link for everybody to click on and make sure that you're filling out as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hit send to all. All right, let's go back to the Insiders Club here real quick. Now, this post where I say it's worth $5,000, not I could say 50 grand because I know people that have made more than that from using this stuff in here. If you scroll down, you'll see I'm answering lots of other questions, right? You'll see video walkthrough, step-by-step as well, too. Ooh, these are really good. Facebook stats. I'm going to review that. One of the reasons can't miss social media ad genius webinars when they have diagrams like this. Nick says they're ugly, but I really like it. We show people step-by-step, hey, here's what we're doing, right? Now, watch this top post. If I click on this top post right here, where I say 5,000 or 50,000, lots of people like to make up numbers, but I'm going to show you the real deal. So what happens is, and again, this is only if you purchase Social Media Ad Genius. Now, if you're on the webinar right now, I didn't say this before, but let's be honest, it is 2 hours and 48 minutes into the webinar. If you have not purchased Social Media Ad Genius yet, it is no longer on the market. But if you fill out the application and just tell Shecky, look, I'd love to do JumpStart, but can you just give me access to Social Media Ad Genius for $297? Can you honor that price? Since you guys have been here, I will reward action takers. So if you are not yet a part of Social Media Ad Genius, fill out the application and tell Shecky, can you give me access for $297? Kurt said since I stayed on for 2 hours and 49 minutes, that he rewards action takers. So if you're, fill out that form, we can get you a smag at $297 versus because it's locked out from the public right now. Now, in this first post right here, I explain, by the way, someone had asked me, what are the prices for Social Media Ad Genius? So I'm actually going to, sorry, let's see here. Whoops. All right. After 30 days, yep, send to all. So that'll send you the links and everything else, which would be really good. All right. Wendy has a question here. Kurt, would you rather have a sign up for JumpStart program or for Russell Brunson's program? You did ask the question. So this is not a program with Russell and Todd Brown and Rich Sheffron. I believe that's $497 what they're doing for 4 weeks. There's one free program, then there's a $497 one that he's having one as well too. We just had a very big webinar with Todd. I'm a very big supporter of Todd and Russell. What I tell people is if you want to learn if you want to learn the funnel side, that is Todd. If you were to invest in both, oh my goodness, the sky is the limit. Todd is one of the smartest guys I know that are on funnels, and he'll say it. He said it on tape. I have it recorded. He'll say it out in public. He always uses me for suggestions and advice for targeting. So if you want to jump into this feet first and you're like, look, I'm going to take 4 weeks with Todd in funnel, and then he has Russell on there as well too. Get the book for free for Russell. You just pay shipping and handling, number one. Number two, you take Todd Brown's and you take our content. Now you're running funnels and traffic. Now this is something if you want to, whether you have your business set up or not, once you learn how to do both, small businesses will consult with you on how to do this. Start out with $500 consultant sessions, $1,000, $2,000. Very quickly, you will see the buttons are not too difficult to push, but the value is huge. So you're saying, should I do one or the other? If I were in your situation, I would do both. If you already have a funnel, run traffic. If you don't have a funnel at all, take Todd's course. You can also I think we have a link for Todd's course as well too. You're welcome to take that. But yeah, it's a lot of great information, but it's absolutely gold. Oh, I just bought Todd's program and Smag. Very smart. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, triple threat. I bought Todd's program, I bought Smag, and just got the book. Smart. Very, very, very smart, Sky. Excellent job. I mean, here's the thing is at the end of the day, I'm paying for masterminds. I'm still reading books. I still buy courses. I firmly believe that money should flow. And even though that I know people like Todd Brown, I could ask Todd for his course for free. I always pay for it. Always. I believe that money should flow. I believe that Todd deserves the money for putting it all together. And I just believe that if I want to feel that people should pay me for my content, that's how I should treat other people. I have to lead by example inside of my actions. So I bought Todd's program. I've bought Russell's book. We've bought lots of their different programs. And the reason we do is because they're amazing individuals and they've become up for just a great, great, great friend. All right. So by the way, here's how you join Social Media Ad Genius, but here are the rules. Not a big deal. Look at this. Facebook compliance. You want to know the most critical things for Facebook compliance? Well, you got all these links, these videos here inside the Insiders Club. Now, a lot of this is going to be moved over to Social Media Ad Genius 2.0, but you can see it right here. I have lots of compliance videos. Now, let's just say that you're like, okay, I got some knowledge, but I don't have a digital product. Consult small businesses. Small businesses love this. So if you take a look at this, look, review this post first, right? If you click on this post, I give people literally videos. There's probably 30 hours of videos here. Not inside of Social Media Ad Genius 2.0, but videos. Elevator speech, pitch to close, collecting, fulfilling, cheese and whiskers, like how you really get people attracted to you to want to buy stuff, how to close more business, and what are our agreements? What's our invoices? How do we do this? This is all in here. That's just one post, right? So look at this. That's just one post. Let's scroll down over here. Okay. So if I come over here, so if you want to sell this to small businesses, I have contracts and videos and trainings, meaning this, not necessarily Social Media Ad Genius, but you can if you want, and you can get a 40% commission. But learn how to, if you're learning internet marketing, people want to have it done for them. So if you learn how to set up an AWeber list, do it for a small business. They pay $500. AWeber's $30 a month, right? There's opportunities, lots of them. Okay, now people are like, okay, so that's great, Kurt, small businesses, but can we get access to your contracts and stuff? Oh, yeah, click on that link, it's in there. Well, how do you monitor clients' performance? You want to know how we do it in our agency? Click on this link right here. I'll show you the exact form that we use inside of our agency. Here's a video walkthrough of how to read the form and recreate it. We give people full access. So you want to know who does all of our turnkey stuff? Where do we outsource it to people? Right here, a place called Local Oxygen /CM. These guys do a lot of our fulfillment for us that is outside of the agency. So we have our agency, but when local businesses will still approach me, I mean, heck, we have a financial client here that's like, hey, I need a website, some SEO. Can you guys run some traffic? Our budget's $20,000 a month. And we're like, $20,000 to run traffic? And they're like, no, $20,000 to pay you. And then we have extra money for traffic. We're like, yes. I mean, who wouldn't take $20,000 a month to help consult, right? But remember, you don't have to know how to do the task to sell it. This is really big distinction, really important. You just have to believe deep down inside that you will do everything possible to fulfill for that client. So what I would do is I would go out and sell solutions that I had read about, that like I would pick up Russell's book. I'd go to a small business and say, I can do this for you. And they'd say, how much is it? And I'd say, $1,000, right? And I'd go over how to price this stuff. And then they would hire and trust me, and I just knew I had to fulfill. They didn't care if you hired someone from Fiverr or an outsourcer. They didn't care where you hired someone from. They just wanted to know the job would get done by someone who was honest and trustworthy. So I have all these different ways of how to make money as well too, besides just ads. And so many people have told me, Kurt, you got to change the name from Social Media Ad Genius to something else, because literally you guys teach a lot more than just ads. We also show people the magic money box. Now this is literally a video walkthrough and a template that we use that will walk you, how do you know what your lifetime value of your customer is, right? So when you run ads, how much money do you make in 24 hours? Or some of our clients, they'll make money after 7 days because of their follow-up sequence. Or what will happen as well too, is we can now predict money. And here's what I mean by that. See, we can get a bunch of leads that come in on day one, but maybe we have a 7-day video series before we ask them to buy. Once I figure out this magic money box and you go through the videos and you watch this, you'll see how we know, okay, I'm going to spend $500 a day for the next 10 days. That's going to give me X amount of leads. My leads cost me this much. Here's how much they're worth after 24 hours, 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, and a year. And what I'm able to do is I can literally predict income. I can say, okay, I'm going to run some ads. And as long as I get opt-ins below $8, they will be worth $10 to me within 48 hours. They'll be worth $12 to me after 7 days. They'll be worth $14 to me at 21 days. They'll be worth $26 to me at the end of 45 days. So now I can predict in my funnel, right? How do we leverage press releases? A friend of mine owns a press release company, so we did a webinar with him. How do we leverage something called IBR, Intention Behavior Result, that was taught to me by a guy named Blair Dunkley that someone mentioned in here as well too, which is really important. Wendy asked, do you sell the Insiders Club separately? No. You have to own Social Media Ad Genius, and then you get 30 days access to the Insiders Club, and then it's $47 a month. Honestly, the reason is because people always say this. They'll ask me questions because they haven't opened the training, and I'll say, yeah, just make sure you go to the training. Here's where it's located. Or, hey, go inside of the access for here. So we're talking about maybe after the launch of $9.97 to open up the Insiders group. It's just I'm really the only one who answers questions because I'm really specific on the answers I want to give. And I'm really cautious. Like, I don't like answering questions for stuff that I've already recorded. I don't mind saying, hey, look, here's a recording and where you can find it. But when people are like, hey, Kurt, can you tell me how to install conversion pixels? And I go, yeah, it's inside the training underneath the conversion pixel place. Yeah, I know, but can you just tell me? Now, that's being lazy, in my opinion, being lazy and disrespectful. I want to be resourceful as much as I possibly can. So right now, we require people to purchase Social Media Ad Genius, again, at $297. And those links aren't public, so fill out the application, and you can talk to Shecky about that. But yes, that's why we have the Insiders Club for our community. So everybody in the community is all paid customers. By the way, we also show you step-by-step with funnels. So we're going to teach funnels, but I show you Ryan Levesque, that #3 Amazon bookseller who was #1 last night. This guy right here, this guy, Amazon bestseller. Let me hit refresh. I want to see if he beat her out. Oh, it dropped down a little bit to #8. Come on, seriously, 8 off of all of Amazon. And here's what you get. So look, right here, survey funnel replay. This is a specific private webinar I did with Ryan where he walks step by step how he generated 2.8 million leads and 175,000 customers across 17 markets in 23 months. See, you get the full webinar right here and lots of amazing content. So let's keep on walking on down. 90-minute walkthrough of a checklist of everything that's required, how to set up your funnel, Aweber, everything else. This is really important. So you get Aweber, lead pages, which is great. Special training on lead pages. Now, even if you already have lead pages, we tell people to watch this webinar. Reason is they show you how to produce leads without having anything to sell. So if you can start amassing leads and a following, people will follow you, and then when you're ready to sell something, literally they'll clamor at it. They'll be like, oh my goodness, they've never offered anything like this. Let's do it. And you're thinking, I haven't offered anything. Are they going to buy it? They're going to love it. So start building the content here. If you're wondering, well, how do I build this Hangout or webinar funnel that Kurt, that you talked about? It's right here. How do you run a Google Hangout to brand just yourself? I show you how to do that. How do you use a single Google Hangout? How do you use that for branding? I film that. What's your step-by-step process on how you close a webinar? So I'm going to give somebody the recording that's 90 minutes long. But look, you take that recording.
Hey everybody, Kurt Molly here.
And
hey,
I don't know if you guys can notice this, but you see these two ads right here? They're a little bit bigger. That means Facebook's actually testing. Sometimes I can tell small variations, but they're testing right now. So I show people what should your opt-in rate be, right? What's the templates to use? So your opt-in rate should be, if it's getting this, it's an A, B, C, D, or F. What is our exact example? How do we use webinar, or how do we use evergreen webinars, meaning webinars that play every single day that look like they're live? Who do we use? How do you set that up? What are the links that you use for your email stuff? Everything's in here. You see this? This is why I say that this is worth over 5,000. I mean, it's worth much over 5,000. Here's the exact script that we use on the thank you page that I mentioned in my presentation as well. Here are the documents and the exact emails that we send out, that they're templates. Here's a step-by-step guide on how we convert webinars like crazy. Now, this is one guide. The guide I'm giving away for the special gift, that guide is actually I did for 90 minutes, is a 2.0 version of this link right here. Here's the document that I referenced in this video so you can set up your own webinars. Step-by-step funnel of how you offer a $7, $97, $297 product. Step-by-step of video of how to create a funnel to sell high-end products. You want to sell a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 mastermind? I know lots of people that have done it. Actually, that's one of the things we're going to offer at our live event, so that's been really fun. Our step-by-step content promotion. Now, this is what we give only to our 7- and 8-figure clients. I've recorded that. Special focusing on the best next steps. You know, I've had people tell me, Kurt, I'm stuck. What do I do? What's the next part? Well, I filmed an entire video of, hey, you know what? You're stuck. Here's exactly how you get unstuck, the exact actions to take. Oh, yeah, you absolutely got to rock and roll. So I can also show you, here's a conversion pixel strategy that I draw out. Here's how we run an effective conversion pixel strategy, our most successful retargeting campaigns, read our Facebook retargeting post, third-party services that we use for, this is just one post inside the Insiders Club, just one. So it's absolutely critical. Okay, we're at the top of the hour. I have people in here. Man, there's a lot of value. How many people? I still see literally over 100 people still left on this. 3 hours later, how many people have gotten value out of the last 60 minutes? How many people here are still on? All right, sign up for the Insiders Club. Can't wait. Thank you very, very, very much. Tons of value. How many people else have gotten value? Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm in. Great, 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 great. So one last time, and I know I said we were around up at the hour. I hope this, man, I've got to make sure this recording gets out, because usually when they get over 2 hours, it gets a little interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure that everybody has the link. Let's go ahead and copy that link right here. I'm going to go ahead and post it in here. All right, there we go. And I'm going to hit send all. All right, everybody. I appreciate all of you. 3-hour mega webinar marathon. We still got lots of people here, which is great. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and send out the recording. I actually got to get off of this right now because the replay is going to go out here in just a second. I got to make sure the whole thing's rendered and everything else. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all the people that are still left on here. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you fill out that application. Make sure you're involved inside the community. Get inside the Insiders community. If you haven't done it already, download Russell's book. It's the last day to claim Russell's free book. So I'm going to make sure that I copy and paste that in there as well too. So make sure that you get the free book from Russell, since it's the last day that he's doing that. Other than that, everybody, I really appreciate it. Kurt, you're blowing me away. It's absolutely unreal. This is what we love to do. If you can hear it in my voice, my employees that sit right outside the door, the people, I don't like to say my employees. I really like to say the people that work with us here. Because everyone has their own individual talent. It's not like I own anybody's talent. These are all amazing individuals. But they're like, Kurt, you talk for hours and hours and hours. And I'm like, I love this stuff. My business partner once told me I had a 4-hour speech in front of 800 people. And he's like, what the hell are you going to talk about for 8 hours? And I'm like, oh, I love this stuff. This is going to, or how are you going to talk for 4 hours? And it was one of the best speeches that I ever gave. It was just so much fun with the energy. So when I see all these people on here, it just gives me a ton of energy. So I absolutely appreciate it. All right, everybody, I got to get the replay rendered. I got to get the video out. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for everybody being here. Really appreciate you all. Make sure that you fill out that application with Shecky. Get involved in the community. Get inside of social media, Ad Genius. Remember, we are starting class. I'll send out the webinar, but we are starting class next Tuesday. And once we're at that 25, we just stop. So fill out that application. I look forward to seeing everybody on the other side. Thank you, everyone, so much. We really appreciate you. You all have an absolutely amazing day. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.